The second inning, their starter gone. Kevin Gausman charged with throwing at a batter intentionally, thrown out of the game. That will have ramifications for the next week for the Orioles. One, Ubaldo Jimenez, who is supposed to start tonight, had to come in out of the bullpen. He did well. But who starts tonight? Here comes Tyler Wilson. Called up from Norfolk, he will make his first start of the year. He has been with the Orioles earlier out of the bullpen. Oriole fans hoping tonight they win and split a 4 game. It's the Orioles on Masson, and welcome back to Boston. Game 4 of the 4-game set and the end of this current road trip for the Orioles here tonight. What a road trip it has been. In New York, it was all about run scoring, extra innings, blowing leads, just a real knockdown, drag-out baseball games, 3 of them. Then you come to Boston, is more about what's going on off the field than what's going on the field. But what went on the field so far is the Red Sox have taken 2 out of 3. But it has been everything off the field that has made all the headlines. So we go back and we recap coming into game 4. Let's start. In game number 1, Machado at the plate off Porcello. This is in the top of the 6th inning. The Orioles would get a 1-0 lead. Manny drove it, but he would be heard from again because Bundy would hit Betts with a pitch bottom of the 6th inning. Remember that. It would come into play game 2. Adam Jones a catch turned to the crowd. We turned out later that was about racial slurs directed at him. Game 2, the fans go the other way, standing ovation as he comes for his first at bat. Then Sale throws one 98 miles an hour behind Manny Machado. That was all about the Bundy Betts matter. Not done. Manny would respond off Sale. And then after he hit the home run, a look into the dugout in no uncertain terms. The Orioles would turn a triple play in this series. Moreland off second base. Tag him, touch the bag. The runner at first is out. The runner never went to first base from the batter's box. There's the triple play. Boston won it 4-2. Game 3, Kevin Gausman, second inning, first batter. Here we go again. Immediately ejected, even though he clearly did not intentionally throw at the hitter. Everybody upset about it. Buck came out to argue, but it's all over. And then Jones ejected. This one, a call on a strike he didn't like.
I don't see how a guy who has command like Sale and can pretty much throw the ball anywhere he wants to, throws behind a guy, and everyone in the stands, us included, knew that it was on purpose, and they just warned him. And I throw a curveball, 76 miles an hour, slips out of my hand, and I hit a guy, and they toss me. So I mean, pretty joke, honestly. I mean, it was just complete bush league.
Sam's a good umpire. He's trying to do the right thing, and I'm sure in his mind, but it was a mistake. Just like not throwing Sale out last night was a mistake. It's kind of like we keep trying to do the right thing, keep getting screwed.
Jim, could we play a baseball game?
I think we do, and and let's bottom line this. All this stuff goes on. The Orioles are a winning ball club, as are the Red Sox. I mean, they were 4 games behind them last year. Orioles won in '89, Red Sox '93. It's a big game, just like the one in New York was. It was a 2-game swing when they were, or 1-game swing when they were able to win on Sunday, even though they had to do it in extra innings, even though they blew a lead. You come out of here even, you win 2, you're still looking, to hit a little bit. But I think that's just, there's 2 stories. Tyler Wilson gets called up to pitch. He's got to pitch well, like he did last June, best game he's ever started in the major leagues. And the Orioles, if you look at these 3 games, Gary, other than the 3 unearned runs, they're getting 2 runs a game. They need to do better than that. You got Kyle Kendrick, who's worked his way back up to the big leagues. Wright's out for the year now with a knee problem, so it's an important start for him. But at the end of the day, you got to win this game, and you go out of here and you go, thank God we don't have to come back here till September.
How about the Oriole bats, Jim, that you were talking about? I mean, it's just not there. I mean, the Red Sox have got the big averages. They're not scoring runs. The Orioles don't have the average, and they're not scoring runs. You just can't seem to get 2 or 3 guys hot at the same time.
Well, these guys can pitch. I mean, they really can. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody in recent years as good as Chris Sales. He struck out 11, gave up 2 runs, only 3 hits. Pomerantz, he's got the curveball, so that mesmerizes me. He hasn't given up more than 2 runs in his 3 starts. Porcello won the Cy Young Award. He pitched well. They just didn't play at the end of the game well behind their bullpen. So again, good pitching usually stops good hitting. But again, the Orioles may get a few more hittable pitches tonight. And when they do, they're going to have to do something they haven't really done. They've only hit solo home runs. And when they get out homered, they don't win.
All right, we'll see what's going to happen here tonight. This is the final game of the 4-game set. And it is also the night for Star Wars. You'll see the characters around the ballpark all night long. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Another very cool night here at Fenway Park, and for the Orioles, the end of a road trip, and none too soon. They had the 3 games in New York and the 4 here, and all of them had something going on in them, either on the field or off. They're 2-4. A chance here to even up this 4-game set. Not a very high average. Runner in scoring position number good. The runs per game, that's because of the Yankee series. The ERA because of the Yankee series. Here at Fenway, only 3 runs per game. Obviously, the Orioles are going to want to improve on that number as far as the runs are concerned. All right, let's take a look. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? It is just 56 degrees. Saving grace for the moment, at least. Wind not blowing that hard, and it's blowing right to left at the moment. But it is going to be another cool night. The starting lineup for the Orioles brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. It'll be Smith, Jones, and Machado, Davis, Trumbo, and Scope. Kim finally gets a start. Then the right-hander on the mound, Hardy and Caleb Joseph. Last 11 good ball games at the plate for Jonathan.
And they'll face Kyle Kenrick, who comes right out of their AAA Pawtucket, where he had a great spring. He went 4-0, so we looked at on the radar because that's what he does. And then he's a veteran. He's been around. I mean, he pitched 2007 all the way to 2014, the Phillies, and then pitches to contact. One of his things, he's not a hard thrower. He has a split change up, a little breaking ball, throw in the low 90s, but he wants you to put the ball in play early on. And again, he gave up 9, 6, 3, none. So those are his 4 starts at AAA. 1 hit in 7 innings, so he is ready to pitch. We'll see if he's ready to pitch against the Orioles.
2015, the last time he worked in the majors, and he went 7-13 that year. Made 27 starts in 2015. Had a high ERA. It was at 6.32. He has given up a lot of home runs in his career, and he did in 2015. 33 home runs. He surrendered that year in 27 starts. This is going to be his 254th career appearance and his 213th career start. He's 500, lifetime 81 and 81. But as Jim mentioned in the open, what a chance for him now that Wright is gone. They've got a spot in their rotation.
Yeah, they put Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer, who has really struggled, on the disabled list for 10 days, and then they realized he actually has a hole in his cartilage. He hurt his, hurt his shoulder last year pinch running. Was never the same. Couldn't play in the postseason, and then this year, something he thought that was something that could be managed. He's going to be out for the year, so it's a huge blow. David Price still on the DL, doing the simulated games, working towards 3 innings. So. Yeah, Ken rakes in again. This is, he's only 32, so he has a great spring. He doesn't go with a big club, goes down to AAA, and it is a great opportunity.
See how he does. David Price was on the mound earlier this afternoon throwing for the Red Sox, so his simulated game tune-ups continue with no definite date on when he's going to be back. For the Orioles, Seth Smith will lead it off. He's had only 3 at-bats in the series. He has gone 0 for 3. Something off the field here for a moment. Kevin Gausman desperately wanted to have a start again tonight or go to the bullpen tonight, but Rick Stallwell saying nope, that's not going to be it. We got a long season ahead of us, and that would not be a good decision. And the pitch on the way, and that will be taken for a strike. Smith, one of just 3 batters in the lineup who have ever faced Kendrick, and as you saw, a .500 batting average. He's 11 for 22 off the Red Sox starter. So a couple who have met before over the years. Full shift on against Smith. And the 0-1 will be on the inside corner for a strike.
Yeah, so a 2-seamer down and away, and then maybe a 4-seamer with a little cut on the inside part of the play. So again, what did Ray Series of the Pirates say? Want to make it happen in 3 pitches. And it looks like he's going to try to do that, at least to Seth Smith.
0-2 the count. Delivery to Smith on the way, and a little chopper into that shift. It's going to be a tough play. Going to have to hustle glove, and not in time. It'll be an infield hit. Had to do it with a glove, couldn't get the bare hand on it, and that did not give him enough time with Smith flying down the line, an infield single.
Yeah, that's actually your third baseman, Josh Rutledge, who came in, and you can see the foot gets down. Good Greg Gibson. And again, from the angle he was coming from, he would have had to catch that barehanded and backhanded. I don't think he could have done it.
So the Orioles get a leadoff man on here.
What a great pitch. I mean, it's an 0-2 split changeup. You get exactly what you want. But then again, Seth Smith, who struggled with groin hamstring problems, seems to be running very well.
So Smith on. He has not had a stolen base attempt this year. Adam Jones at the plate. Adam has had a tough series with all that's gone on off the field. Whether or not that has affected what's gone on the field, I'm not sure even he can answer that. Thrown out last night, Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire and crew chief, who heaved him out of the ball game. So, Jones trying to find the hits, down to 276 now. That ball is popped up right center field. Pedroia going back. Second baseman is under it, and he will put it away.
Yeah, take a look at their defense, and they struggled. 4 errors the first night. Real good outfield. Benintendi, Bradley Jr., Betts won a Gold Glove. Rutledge, Bogarts. He kind of misplayed a couple of balls last night as far as backing up on him. Pedroia is a Gold Glover. Same with Moreland, and then Vasquez catches like one.
So 1 down, a runner on at first base, and here's Manny. Manny in the series, the 2 for 13, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. And Manny now at 214 with 6 home runs and 16 RBIs. Kendrick off that first base side of the rubber. Right-hander's delivery off the plate chop. That's a fair ball. Rutledge again, a tough running throw. Throws it away. Smith is going to head over to third. The ball is caught. Now it comes loose. Smith takes a big turn. Moreland thought that ball was going to stay under the tarp, and it didn't. And Smith took a big turn, but Moreland got there in time, and Manny goes to second base.
Yeah, he kind of interferes with Manny, and then Manny, I mean, he really comes around the base, not running hard because I think he thought it was going in the stands. So a tough play. Probably going to be a base hit. So right here, I mean, Manny's just trotting, probably knowing that nobody can get the ball. And again, so Rutledge, 2 plays tonight. He played really well last night and very, very difficult.
So the Orioles, boy, what a great chance early on again. They get runners at second and third and only 1 away.
The runners at second and third, and they have yet to hit a ball out of the infield other than the pop up that Adam Jones hit.
And Chris Davis, with just the 1 for 9, will get the RBI opportunities. Base hit here would score a couple of quick runs off Kendrick. Davis takes it up high. The Orioles here in this series have gone just 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. In the second game of the series, they only had 1 chance against Chris Sale. Ball club, though, is still 4th in the league overall in these situations at 274. The delivery to Davis and a little heat at 93.
Yeah, he's kind of lost at the plate. I mean, he's been up 89 times. He struck out 39 times. Here is the defense. You can see the shift being put on. And I know it sounds strange. There's more home runs than anybody, but in the last 4 years. But if you need a strikeout, this is the guy you're going to look at.
1-1 delivery on the way. Chris will put that one up in the air. That's not very deep. Left field. It's caught, and the runners go halfway and back. So Smith was halfway down the line because that ball was so shallow. Not going to be able to tag up, or at least they decided they weren't going to. And now there are 2 down. Benintendi out there in left field. He, Bradley in center, and Bogarts the shortstop, all converging on that one. Kendricks has also had a high runner in scoring position average against him throughout most of his career. And that last full year in 2015, opponents hit .303 against him in these situations. Here is Trumbo. Mark's had a couple of hits in the series, 2 for 11 with a 1 RBI. He'll go back to normal defense, if there is such a thing, straight up here against him. Pitch on the way. Should point out, I'll do this early, not that it'll have anything to do with the game. Kendrick over the years has hit a lot of batters, and back in mid 08, 2008, he was tied for first in most hit batters, and he hit 7 in 2015, his last season, full season in the majors. So just for the back of your mind. Pitch is taken outside for a ball, 2-0.
Well, apparently with the way the rules are being in this series, you don't want to hit anybody, you just want to pitch behind him.
Yeah.
Just throw it behind him. Well, of course, that won't be intentional.
Still no action on Chris Sale from Major League Baseball.
No, that was so blatant. We'll see what they do.
Mark Trumbo. He has faced Kendrick 3 for 7 with a home run off the right-hander. Runners off second and third. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be popped up first base side. Moreland coming in, fair territory, and he will put it away. So Kendrick works his way out of a first inning jam. The Orioles leave 2. Tyler Wilson coming on the pitch. 16-10. They are a game behind the Yankees, and the Red Sox a game and a half behind the Orioles. Take a look at the Red Sox lineup. Pedroia, Benintendi, Betts, Ramirez, Bogarts, and Moreland, Rutledge, Bradley Jr., and Vasquez. Xander Bogaerts this series has had a good one.
And Tyler Wilson, well, best game of 2016 right here on June 16th. 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs against the Red Sox, and you got to mix it up. I mean, you got to use your pitches. He's got to pitch down in the zone. He did it so well opening day, picked up a win. Trumbo hit the walk-off home run, but he's not over. I mean, he throws actually, maybe 89 to 93, and he's got a curveball. He's got a kind of a slurve and a changeup. And those are the numbers. And then, he didn't really get the pitch much down in AAA Norfolk. Couple of starts, 83 pitches in his last outing.
And it will be Dustin Pedroia leading it off. Pedroia for the Red Sox, couple of hits, 10 at bats against Wilson, who has seen the Red Sox before in action in previous years, not this year. 1-0 delivery. Pedroia will put it up in the air. Scope backing up at second. He'll be called off. Smith will get under it and put it away. 2 pitches. Pedroia retired.
Yeah, take a look at the Oriole defense. Kim gets a chance to play. Jones, Gold Glover, Smith and Wright, Machado, Hardy, Gold Glover, Scope, Davis, Caleb Joseph because of the injury to Wellington Castile on the DL. He's getting an opportunity to play almost every night.
Andrew Benintendi stands in for the left fielder. He has had a couple of hits, 11 at bats in the series with an RBI. Mookie Betts waiting on deck. Manny Machado weigh in at third base. Infield shifted and the pitch taken away. Take a look at the shift put on here with Hardy moved over. StatCast brought to you by Amazon Web Services.
You take the bunt away and then you figure, okay, I mean, he can hit the ball left, but they figure maybe not on the ground.
Good pitch catches the outside corner. Tyler's making his first start this year against Boston, 3rd of his career, and his 6th appearance lifetime against them. There are the numbers.
And they're good ones. 12 starts last year. And again, as the season progressed, the numbers kind of went down. ERA went up in the sense that, he said that maybe he came out of the gate, had to make the ball club last year, so maybe a little bit too much throwing and whatever. So he backed off a little bit, made the club, and then just elevated the ball out of the bullpen. And if you have options, you don't pitch well, you're going up and down. That's just the way it is now.
That'll back him off, and Benintendi will move the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Red Sox outfielder hitting at .317, got 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Roger McDowell getting a look after watching him in spring training and some appearances out of the bullpen, seeing him as a starter, and a good pitch strikes him out.
Yeah, talking to Dave Wallace and Dom Cheedy, who were the pitching coaches last year, they said at the bottom of the zone, he really has life. And you can see it right there. I mean, that ball pretty much right down the middle, but it's knee high. Benintendi, not a big guy. This is a ball you think, well, he's going to get on, but he just can't catch up to it. So nice start so far for Tyler Wilson.
That'll bring on Mookie Betts. Red Sox right fielder, 2 for 10 in the series. He is hitting only .194 against the Orioles this year. Kevin Gausman watching, wishing he were out there on the mound again, starting 2 days in a row, actually, but not to be.
Yeah,
and
so
the pitch taken.
Yeah, what you got to worry now is that because he pitched so briefly last night, that it'll be probably about 10 days between starts. And that's not always good, not when you're struggling.
A 1 delivery on the way. And that one down low again.
Well, there you go. Nunez, Betts, Dyson, Santana. Every year strikes out 100 times, walks 100 times. And Diaz, we'll see him when the Cardinals come to Baltimore this year.
Great numbers for Betts putting the ball in play. Pitch to him will catch the inside corner. Tyler moving the ball around well here in the first inning. Betts has walked 10 and struck out just 7 times.
Yeah, he got the big hit on Tuesday night off of Gibbons, a double off the wall, added a couple of runs, only 3-2 at the time he hit that.
Delivery to him. Mookie will ground that one. This is going to be a tough play. Manny's got a bare hand, running throw again, and not in time. Close. But again, another speedster in Mookie Betts.
Yeah, you play back a little bit, and you're trying to take the double away, and again, he just can run. I mean, stole 26, good base runner. And you got to come that far, even though you play it that well. And you can see Chris Davis able to get to it. Much better throw from Manny Machado. I mean, it's the only way you can play it right here. On the run, the speed. Again, you just don't want to throw that ball away. Davis keeps that from happening.
So each team has had an infield hit, beat it by a good deal. And on at first base with speed, and here's Ramirez, the DH.
Yeah, he's their hottest hitter.
Ramirez, a couple of home runs in this series, 3 RBIs against the Orioles. Wilson's pitch to him will be taken inside. He's had only 5 at bats against Tyler. He's gone 1 for 5. This series, he has kept it alive all over the place. You see how he's been involved in driving him in and in scoring.
Yeah, we got all these numbers now against right-handed pitching, and they give you the, do you barrel the ball? Only one player in the majors better than Ramirez, and that's Freddie Freeman.
He will take the pitch, and the count goes to 2-0. Ramirez now, after the 0 for 4 last night, did end his hit streak that was at 5 games.
Let me add, there's 2 players in front of him. Aaron Judge, hit his 13th home run. Imagine that.
Judge of all people. 2-0 count, 2 down. Betts good lead, and that will result in the throw over to first base.
Well, you got a choice here. I mean, you cannot pitch guys that are red hot. 4 home runs in your last 5 games. The home runs he had off of Asher were hanging curveball, hanging slider. So part of pitching in Fenway, better be able to dot that outside corner, because he's looking to drive something.
Runner not going. Ramirez going to get a base hit into right field. Betts will make the turn and head to third. Played into second base by Smith. And the Red Sox will cover the corners here in the first inning with 2 down.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just have, I'm not going to throw it by him. He's looking fastball. You make a good pitch. I mean, it's right on the corner. But Ramirez is looking to go that way, and I'll take a single anytime. I mean, that ball right on the corner, carries his bat. There you go. I mean, he's really seeing the ball well. Slow start, and that has changed.
So the Red Sox get a chance, just as the Orioles did in the first inning.
The Orioles did not get 1 pitch to hit in the first inning. And that's Hal Kendrick. I mean, he stayed out of the middle of the plate.
Now Wilson will try and get Bogaerts. 7-game hit streak for Xander Bogaerts, and he is 4 for 9. Lifetime off Tyler Wilson. First and third. Bogaerts will take the first pitch and a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, those are those numbers. Getting close to 400.
And 304 with runners in scoring position. He's been their leader in that department. 0-1 count, 2 down. Delivery on the way. Game with a little heat at 91. Will miss down low.
Well, he's the best 2-strike hitter in baseball over the last 2 years. Just what, 8 and then 4 hits shy of 200, and the highest average of hitting the ball to right field on fastballs, 433.
1-1 delivery on the way, and a great breaking ball over the top, had him swinging. 1 and 2.
Yeah, take a look at your Mercedes pitch cast. This is the way he did it last June 16th, where he was able to, when he threw his breaking ball, just, this is a great high ball hitting team, keep it down in the strike zone or strike the ball.
Mookie Betts off third base. Ramirez off first. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's Luke. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score a run. Betts will score. Ramirez goes to third. Throw cut off. They got to play at first base. They've got him in a rundown. Don't know what he was doing. Nobody at first, and another run scores. The Orioles do not cover first base, and Ramirez scores all the way from first on the play.
Yeah, but he was going to score anyway because Chris Davis forgot about the runner. I mean, he gets it to Hardy, and meanwhile, Ramirez, as you mentioned, Gary, is coming around third. I mean, you got to be cognizant of the runner at second base because, again, I mean, Bogaerts gets himself into a pickle, and right here the run scored. I mean, Chris Davis never even took a look at it. Now again, if you're the pitcher, you're backing up home plate, so there isn't going to be anybody at first. But if he had taken 2 steps and then come home with his arm, they would have gotten Ramirez. So there's your 2-strike hitting. Good breaking ball, serves it into right field, and then the Orioles defense, which has not been good in this series, gives them another run.
So a 2-0 lead. All of this coming with 2 down. And over there at first base is Bogaerts, able to scoot back as the Orioles did not cover. And here is Moreland. Moreland with a shift on against him. And he will take the pitch inside for a ball. No, the Red Sox do take advantage of their 2-out chance while the Orioles could not. 1-0 count. Good heads up base running by Ramirez. Ryan Butterfield, third base coach, had him moving off the bag immediately when the rundown started.
Well, again, he's out at home plate. If Chris Davis pays attention, it's like he didn't think he was going, but he didn't look either, so it's hard to tell. And he's a gifted first baseman.
And those are the kind of plays that make Buck very upset.
Well, they're extra runs.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyrell Wilson, his first major league start this year. You're trying to get him out of the inning, and you don't.
And again, the throw over this time, not as big a lead.
And just think, if you're John Farrell, you get to bat a guy like Bogaerts, you think, well, I'm going to make a quality pitch, which he did, and he just flicked it. And that's the second time he's done it in this series. Hit a double over the head of Flaherty on a 2-strike pitch.
Bogaerts 3 for 3 in stealing bases. Does not have a steal lead over there right now. And the pitch is taken inside again. And the count goes to 2-0. Tyler Wilson forced to throw some extra pitches here in the first inning after he got the first 2 outs rather quickly. The fly ball and the strikeout. Moreland, the 3 for 10 in the series. 2-0 delivery on the way to him, and he'll ground it foul outside of first base. We said the Red Sox have not been scoring runs, so when they get 4 runs on the board, they're in pretty good shape. Their offense coming in 12th in runs per game at 3.9, even though they're 3rd in average. Now the Orioles are 9th in runs at 4.2, but 10th in average.
Well, only one team pitching better than them, and they're going to Baltimore tomorrow, and that's the White Sox.
2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and that one in the air to center. Adam Jones, and he'll put it away. But the Red Sox get a couple of runs. They do it on 3 hits. They will leave just 1 on base and an early 2-0 lead. Walt from Delta, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Home Run Rich's Scratch House, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home run. Carroll, good luck. Tyler Wilson on the bench, should have been out of that inning a little better than what it was. Maybe one run across.
Well, infield hit, good hit by Ramirez, and then a little looper by Bogaerts, which is what he does. You could give up. You can handle one run in an inning here. Just hate to give them a gift run, and that's what the Orioles did.
Jonathan Scope. Here's Ramirez, part of that rally. Jonathan has raised his average up to 289 and has picked up 5 home runs. He continues to be up there as the leader of the Orioles when it comes to RBI production. Jonathan has got 16, tied with Manny Machado for the team lead in runs batted in. Kendrick's pitch, and that's going to be up and away. And a 2-ball 1-strike count to Scope.
Well, you hope the adrenaline rush, because he really made some great pitches to get out of trouble. Again, Pomeranz, they left the bases loaded with 1 out. First inning here, runners at second and third, who were actually with 2 outs. Today, 2 outs with 1 out, they couldn't get the runner in. So, you know, the last 2 nights, opportunities early, and haven't been able to take advantage of them.
Kendrick's making his first appearance ever against the Orioles. Along the way in all of those 254 career appearances now, never won against Baltimore. 3-ball 1-strike delivery on the way. Scope will foul it off right at the plate, and Jonathan 3-2. By the way, the White Sox, who are coming to town, beat Kansas City today by a score of 8-3. They are a red hot team. Their 15 wins in the Central ties them for the lead with Cleveland. Minnesota right behind them, another surprise team this year. Minnesota's got 14 wins coming into today's play. 3-2 delivery, and Scope will put that one up in the air. Silo shot. Vasquez gets rid of the mask and makes the catch. The Birds are going to return to Oriole Park. A 3-game series coming up against the White Sox Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, the first 20,000 15 and over get the Orioles tote bag presented by MLB Network. And on Sunday, the kids 4 to 14 can run the bases presented by Wise Markets. That's, of course, after the game. For your tickets, Orioles.com. Kim, who's had only 1 at bat in the series, gets a start tonight. We were talking last night about how Young-Soo Kim's time with all the left-handers the Orioles have seen severely reduced of late. Only his 15th game and only 36 at bats on the year, where the regulars are, well, some have hit 100 and others in the 90s. A little roller hit out in front of the plate. Rutledge will make that play. He was playing in, so he had to go diagonally to get it.
Yeah, you look at Kyle Kendrick. I mean, Rutledge just had some tough plays. That one with a lot of kind of cued it off the end of the bat on the changeup. So it looks like Kendrick, if you gave him a scouting report, especially after, you know, 4-0 spring and then struggled early, again 9-6-3 runs and then a 1 hit in 7 innings, he could probably execute it because he's got like 3 pitches and, like you said, home runs. Well, if you throw at the knees, you don't throw as many home runs. So
he played the entire 2016 season at the minors. He was with the Angels system. 7-6, 4.46 ERA for Kendrick in the minor leagues. That's why we were using the 2015 numbers last time he was in the majors. Strike taken at the knees right there. Hardy has faced him 2 for 5 off the Red Sox right-hander. Hardy getting over that Mendoza line at 205 with the 3 hits he's had in this series. 1 home run, 7 RBIs. And he puts that one in the air to right, playing very shallow as Mookie Betts. He may have a play on this. He's hollering, "I got it," and he does because he was in. So Kendrick retires the side in order. Red Sox have the 2-0 lead. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Orioles had to make roster changes today, with Kevin Gausman getting tossed, having pitched only one inning. So Tyler Wilson on the mound tonight, recalled. Gabriel Ynoa recalled from AAA as well, another right-hander to have in the bullpen. Blyer, who pitched in last night's game, and Alec Asher, who had been acting as a starter, both optioned out. Buck said, really not fair. He said Blyer and Asher did not deserve to be optioned out again, but we had no choice.
Yeah, and that's because of the ejection of Kevin Gausman. So there's Gabriel Ynoa. The Orioles pick him up from the Mets in the off season. Happy to be here, but he's pitching the big leagues with the Mets, but he really hasn't been pitching well. Yeah, I think Buck was saying, hey, you hate to send out guys that actually may be better than the guys you're bringing up, but you have to do that sometimes.
Yep, you saw starter Ubaldo Jimenez, who had to come in and pitch in relief last night. He was supposed to be the starter in this game. Josh Rutledge, there's Ubaldo, and he pitched well in relief for the Orioles last night. Pitch will be taken down low, bottom third of the order up for the Red Sox here in the second inning against Tyler Wilson. Rutledge with a 1-for-4, just reinstated from the DL and just in time. Marco Hernandez getting hurt here in this series. He's got a base hit up the middle. Leadoff man on for Boston here in the second. 2017 All-Star Game voting underway at Orioles.com/vote-orange. Vote 5 times for the chance to win an autographed All-Star jersey. Vote 20 times to receive a buy one get one offer for the Ranger Series in July. Vote early, vote often in orange. Orioles.com/vote-orange. And he, of course, on the ballot. Adam Jones is there. Trey Mancini made the ballot. Jackie Bradley Jr. has not had a hit in the series. Machado in closer at third, and the pitch is a strike. There you see the defensive alignment as Manny backs up a bit now after he didn't show bunt on the first pitch for a strike.
Yeah, you can see Bradley's numbers. They gave him the night off. Then Attendee went to center and Chris Young to left. 26 home runs last year.
And one's up as well. Not had a hit in his last 13 at bats, including the 0-for-6 in this series. Wilson has faced him before. Bradley with a 2-for-8 off Tyler Wilson. One of those hits a home run.
For a little guy, tremendous power straight away left center.
Whoa, right up the middle, right into the shift. Hardy scope, tough turn, gets it there anyway.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty was, again, this is a fast infield. J.J. Hardy, a couple of pops he didn't get, and an error last night on a ground ball. And it's just getting the glove down. And you could see him looking into the glove, and then pretty much a done deal when you get it to Jonathan Scope with his arm strength.
You saw the effect of the new rule right there about taking out second baseman, colliding with him. As Buck has said, runners have to start now their slide earlier. If you go over the bag, you're probably in violation of the rule on the slide at second. That's a play that probably before that rule doesn't get made, because Jonathan would have been taken out by the runner. But the slide started very early on that play right there by Rutledge, and Jonathan had plenty of time to make the play. Manny and Pedroia got involved in the issue of what is a slide at second that's now legal under the rule. And Buck kind of answered that for him as best he could.
Well, that's the irony of last night. I mean, most of the rules, whether it's collisions at home plate, taking out shortstop, second baseman, what are they trying to do? They're trying to keep the players on the field. They had the meeting, the conference call. What did they say? Let's keep the players on the field. None of them get hurt. Throw out Gausman, throw out Jonesy on a questionable pitch on the second strike. Talks to him going away. So
not exactly what
they had conferenced about,
wanted to have happen. And 0-2 count. Christian Vasquez. Vasquez has shared the duties behind the plate with Sandy Leon. Leon caught the first two. Vasquez has caught the second 2 games. 2-strike count. He's looking for his first hit of the series. 0-for-4. Tyler Wilson's delivery to him, right, another one right back where the other one was, up and over the roof. And the count of 2 strikes.
Yeah, until last night, Vasquez has really been swinging the bat well. Got 4 hits when the Orioles came up here in April, all over the park.
Looking to earn the job behind the plate as John Farrell is left open. The question of, is there a #1 catcher? Sandy Leon.
I mean, does it really need to be if Leon catches 2 of the 5? I mean, they both can share the duties. They can be more well rested. They're both really good defensive. I mean, Leon, I mean, he throws out runners. I don't know if you can block a ball any better than Vasquez can. And then, you know, for him he was going to be the regular catcher and had the Tommy John in 2015. And even for catchers, it takes a while to come back. And then Leon got off to that great start last year, hit .310, highest average of any catcher in the major leagues.
1-2 delivery on the way off the end of the bat. Kim. And he'll get under it, put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Red Sox up. Page, Tom Verducci, Sports Illustrated, and Manny Machado. The headline: talent, fire on display for the Orioles star. Talking about what has gone on here in Boston in the beginning of the year for Manny. Relievers so valuable now that career starters are being moved into the bullpen. Interesting story in the Washington Post today about how that's happening. And Major League Baseball and the Players Association have agreed to flip the order. Teams take batting practice, but only for the first series after the All-Star break this year. I think this is great. Typically the home team hits first. Fans don't ever get to see them take BP. Now they will. Adam Jones said, think about it. Fans in Boston never saw David Ortiz take BP. And hopefully that's something that will work and will be implemented, I hope, next year permanently. Home players love getting out there, take BP, and then they get the long break before the game starts. But the home fans never get to see their own team take batting practice. So for the first series, each of the first series after the All-Star break, that's how they're going to do it. Pitch is in there for a strike. Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, again, Kendrick trying to throw ground balls. 2-seam fastball. You'd see it run back. You give up on it. And again, if you get it down in the zone, you usually hit it on the ground.
Caleb, a 2 for 10. And that one's caught. Moreland reaching over to his right.
Yeah, pretty good at bat. Bad luck.
He had him played over. Right place. Oriole fans, when the O's score 5 runs or more, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Seth Smith led the ball game off with a base hit for the Orioles, up to 239 on the season average for him now, and you see the shift employed.
Yeah, hit a little roller and then beat it out.
And the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Jim Wolf, home plate umpire, historically has had the pitcher's calls on that strike zone. If there's a little bit of doubt on it, Generally for Jim, it's the pitchers who have the advantage.
The brother of Randy Wolf, former left-handed Major League pitcher. He throws the ball back. You better have good stuff because he can outdo you.
There's a base hit, a single and a sharp one, 2 for 2 in the ball game for Smith. So 1 on and 1 down. Here comes Adam in time for AARP's Getting to Know You. Here at Fenway, the home runs for Chris Davis 9, 31 RBIs for him. In his career for Adam Jones, 13 long balls and 41 RBIs at Fenway Park. Adam is playing in his 162nd game overall against Boston, and he's had 92 RBIs.
Yeah, that's like a full season.
Yeah. 274 for Adam, bunting for a base hit. They were playing back, and he's going to get it. No throw made. So Adam takes advantage of the room at third, and he's on with a single.
Well, there you go. You know Adam can do it. They give it to you. I mean, that was textbook. They play back. You know, we saw Chris Davis, who's been slumping last night, wouldn't do it. It's just about playing the game the right way. You can see Rutledge just fake a throw, maybe hoping that Smith, who you know, it's funny. I don't think we're ever going to see Seth Smith steal any bases, but he looks like a pretty good base runner. I mean, he's very attentive, even though he's not a speedster.
So Adam gets out of an 0 for 12 as he lays down the bunt, and the Orioles get runners on at first and second base with only 1 out. Manny Machado, a base hit, his first time up. Kyle Kendrick, the look back, and the delivery is there for a strike.
Yeah, you know, again, we get all these numbers now. He went 0 for 5 last night, but one ground ball was 106.1 miles per hour, 103.99. 30 outs this year have been over 95 miles per hour. And the average exit velocity is right around the upper 70s, maybe around 80.
That is there for Manny. He hopes the numbers will continue to go in this direction.
Yep. Oh, it's a long season, and you're going to get up 650 times or so. I mean, the home runs are where you want, the RBIs.
That's our Maryland Live Casino Inside the Numbers.
And with him, you're always one pitch away from delivering a long ball or driving it up a gap. And we saw him in New York. I mean, what did you know? Hit the 470-foot home run. Where was it? Center field. The line drives up the gap in right center. That, you know, he kind of hit off that, and then you react to the other pitches. And his bat, like a home run he hit off Chris Sale, is quick enough to hit pretty much anything on the inside half.
Kendrick not sure of the call on that, so he called out his battery mate. Saw a number on Manny today. The home run that Manny hit, he's now got 111 career home runs. There have only been 3 third basemen who have had more by the end of their age 24 season. Eddie Matthews, Bob Horner, and Troy Gloss. Pretty good hitters. There's a chopper back to the mound. Where's he going to go? One relay. Pedroia not in time. And a good slide at second base to eliminate the opportunity for Pedroia to make a real strong throw.
Yeah, veteran pitcher, and again, he's not going anywhere. You can see Adam slides into the base, holds on with his right hand. Pedroia said, hey, I've been throwing it all the time. And then again, if you, Mike Bordy could speak volumes of this, you got to be able to get up in the air and land softly and get the knees out of the way, and he's able to do that. But that was an aggressive, fair slide, trying to do what the Orioles were able to do with Chris Davis, hoping to get untracked at the plate coming up.
So now there are 2 away, and runners on at first and third. Yes, John Farrell asked the umpires to hold it for a minute. They did look at the replay to see if they thought the slide was okay, and there is no challenge. 2 down. First and third, shift on. Davis will take the pitch up high for a ball, fly it out to left field, his first time up. So another chance for the Orioles, who left 2 in scoring position in the first inning. Kendricks looking over at first. Davis will take the pitch for a strike. Chris has hit only 2 for 15, a 133 average with runners in scoring position, and he's added another to that tonight, so now 2 for 16. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off first and third. Kendrick's pitch, wild cut on a pitch breaking down and in.
Yeah, we got a great angle up here, and what happens when Chris is not hitting well, watch his hands drop behind his body. And you can see the uppercut swing, so unless the ball is really in a certain zone, it's just hard to be able to make contact. And your bat, you know, the best hitters that I ever faced, the bat stayed through the hitting zone maybe a little bit longer than the average hitters. And his bat in the hitting zone for a millisecond, especially when he's struggling. And the numbers support that.
You know, swing gets so much longer.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strike count on him. Orioles looking for a big hit here, trailing 2-0. Each team has 4 hits. Davis will take it up, pick off play, and back in. And a pretty good jump had been made at first base, and a good throw by Vasquez.
Well, Manny's not going to steal a base with Chris Davis up. And I certainly would like to be able to score. And again, you know, he's a plus defender, quick throw. And again, he's able, because Moreland's up in front of the bag. I mean, he's back a little bit, but then again, he's trying to come off the base and keep a ball from going into right field.
2-2, runner goes inside, throw down Vasquez, runners coming home, and the Orioles are going to get a run off it. So the decision was made by Boston to throw through, and it works for the Orioles. A one hopper.
Yeah, you're struggling for runs. I mean, what a bonus this is. Orioles gave the Red Sox an extra run right here. It's not a tough pitch to throw on because it almost hit Chris Davis, and there you go. Seth Smith. The minute the ball goes through, Manny gets a stolen base. The Orioles get a run, and they have the lead of the Red Sox.
Don't see that play very often anymore, and there was no cutoff. The Red Sox were going to play it at the bag and try and get the runner stealing, and that didn't work. And Vasquez now has thrown out 3 out of 6, and Smith, who picked up the base hit with 1 away, has come across to score the first run for the Orioles. Manny gets his second stolen base in 3 chances.
Yeah, did not steal a base in 2016 after 20 in 2015.
Chris Davis with the 3-2 delivery, and Chris will draw the walk. First walk of the ball game, and it keeps the inning alive.
You know, the little things, you know, you steal a base, you pick up a run. Get a guy in scoring position, so maybe you pitch a little finer. And it's not a good idea. Trumbo sooner or later is going to get into one. I mean, at 47, I mean, a typical year would probably be, what do you think, 28 maybe to 34. So he had a career year last year. So what he does do over the course of his career, you know, maybe doesn't walk a lot, does strike out a lot, but he drives in runs.
He's got 6 home runs here at Fenway Park in his career. 6 of the 8 he's hit against Boston. That ball is going to go to short. Force at second. Pedroia there to take Bogart's throw. The Orioles will pick up a run on a couple of hits. Leave 2 on base. Red Sox 2, Orioles 1. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And brought to you by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. With Jim Palmer, I'm Gary Thorne here in Boston. 2-1 Red Sox up. Seth Smith crossing the plate for the Orioles. Manny Machado stealing that base. They threw through, and Seth, who was there after picking up a single, was on at third. Came home, no play made on him, as the Red Sox had decided to try and get the out at second or none at all, and they got none at all.
Yeah, so that's really a run for the Orioles, and then a run for the Red Sox from Chris Davis. Forgot about Ramirez coming in from second, so a couple of gift runs for both of the clubs.
Dustin Pedroia will lead it off, flied out.
I didn't like that. If they're going to throw through and the guy's going to score, I'm cutting it off. I'm pitching.
You throw it through my head.
Right. Well, no, you just don't let it go.
Yeah.
Davey Johnson kind of, came in and gave me an underhand throw. I told him, if you do it again, I'm cutting it off. It's easy as that. And Davey had a great arm.
1-0 delivery on the way, and that's going to be gone. Way back in left field at the monster, and goodbye, home run. Into the middle seats. Dustin Pedroia delivers the long ball, and the Red Sox get that run back. 3-1.
Yeah, everybody talking about not hitting home runs. Well, that's his first of the year. He could hit them, especially when he's healthy. He hit 15 of them last year. He will surprise you, but the hanging hook, that's no surprise. He doesn't miss that pitch too much. Take a look right here. I mean, just room service curveball. That's what Joe Garagiola used to call it. And again, minute it in this park, elevated enough. Easily over the green monster.
So a 3-1 lead on hit number 5 for Boston. And the pitch will be taken for a strike by Benintendi. Dustin Pedroia gets his 16th career home run against the Orioles. 0-1 count. Tyler Wilson, and that'll be fouled off the foot. Benintendi goes down.
Yeah, a little cutter or fastball that cuts. He hits it right down on his right foot, somewhere in the shin area. You can wear all the protection you want. It looked like it got right below it. I did it once against Dean Chance. That was enough. You know, when you're pitching or you're playing, you kind of, and then the next day, I feel like you need a bat or a crutch.
He moves the guard down a little bit.
And so again, it's cutting in a little bit, and he's got a quick bat. Wham! Right on the top of the ankle.
Well, Benintendi will hang in there. I have to believe there's never been two smaller players, size-wise, not talent-wise, at the top of the order for a ball club than Dustin Pedroia and Andrew Benintendi. Maybe, but I would doubt it. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and both have got power. Popped up against the shift. Scopes going back, waving everybody off, and he will put it away for the out. 1 down. Let's take a look at our PNC minor league report. PNC for the achiever in you.
Yeah, Del Marva, a ball, and again, I mean, what a start this is. Last year, 31st round. So congratulations to Jake. You know, they're suspects in the prospects. And when you're in the 31st round, you're probably a suspect, but you're turning yourself in to a prospect with those numbers. Look at those 17 extra base hits. That'll get you on that'll get you on Buck's board moving up in his office in Baltimore.
It will. Mookie Betts, a base hit and a run scored, as he had a single his first time up. 3-5-1 for the Red Sox. 1-4-0 for the Orioles. Pitch on the way will be taken outside. Tyler Wilson in the emergency start, called up today by the Orioles. 1-1 delivery on the way. Ground ball to third base, handled by Manny. Machado's throw. Now, this may not be true, and I would ask Dustin tomorrow if we were here. that slide into second base by Adam Jones, clean, good, solid baseball. The Red Sox looked at it, didn't challenge. I think one of the reasons why is John Farrell knows Dustin Pedroia doesn't want that kind of a play challenge. He believes the game should be played that way. And you know what else he does? See the slide? He got taken out. What's Dustin Pedroia's answer when something like that happens? He comes to the plate and hits a home run. Yeah. He gets a little fire in his belly because of what happened at second.
Well, he'll also tell you, I've been doing this my whole career. I get out of the way. I turn the double play as well as anybody else.
Yeah, and then I come back and I'll do something at the plate to make you pay for it. Good hot throw made by Manny and gets the out. Dustin Pedroia got the home run, third inning, adding another, and it is a 3-1 lead. After Smith had a single, Adam Jones took advantage of the room, got the bunt down, so the Orioles got a couple on. Manny Machado, chance for a double play. Jones goes in hard. They can't get two. Now Manny will steal. The Red Sox choose to throw through. One hop throw, no chance at the plate. Smith crosses easily. Orioles are on the board.
Yeah, you go back and look from that angle. It was not a very good decision by Christian Vasquez to throw through because of where the pitch was. But again, I think if you pride yourself, I mean, you're a good defensive catcher, maybe you throw anyway, but it was ill-advised. But again, Adam Jones, leader, you know, they give you the bunt, he takes it. You know, a lot of people think, well, down 2-0 at the time. Well, I got to hit home runs. It's hit 13 in what, 162 games? So the bunt was a more prudent play.
Yep. See with the Orioles struggling to get runs. Jonathan Scope popped out his first time up. Orioles last night only putting up a couple in the 4-2 loss. That's going to be a base hit again, going the other way. So Jonathan is on with a single. The Orioles get the leadoff man on again. Our fourth inning of Orioles baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals.
Well, I was telling Xander Bogaerts, can you teach your buddy Jonathan Scope to hit that line drive to right? He goes, no, he hits home runs. But that was a Xander Bogaerts hit. You get the ball up, you know, again, you try to pull that ball, maybe fly out to center. Otherwise, you start a rally.
Kim grounded out his first time up. That ball will be popped up third base side. Vasquez, the catcher, closest, but it's in the seats. For this road trip against the Yankees and the Red Sox, the Orioles still 14-9 against the Eastern Division teams. The Red Sox are 9-8. The Orioles still have played more games against the division than any other team. Yankees up by the game, then Boston 2.5. Tampa Bay trying to get back to 500, and Toronto trying to keep their heads above water here and not fall double digits behind.
They're already 10 back of the Yankees in the loss column.
Yeah.
Yankees with an off day today, I believe, as does Toronto. That means Aaron Judge won't hit a home run. And another one last night.
Unless he's out there practicing in the street somewhere, maybe. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Kendrick's delivery will miss. And a 1 ball 1 strike count on Kim.
Well, you'd like to see that, Kim could get a ball that he can hit on the ground. I mean, he really sprays the ball. Occasional power. Hit 6 home runs last year. But again, I always thought this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create that first and third, hit a routine ground ball, but hit it in the right field. And then, even though Betts won a Gold Glove, he's got to come a long way unless the ball's hit on a line, and you're going to get your first and third.
Mookie Betts is backed up out there in right field.
And until you come to Fenway Park, you got a ton of room, anywhere from middle of center field over to the bullpens.
1 ball 1 strike delivery to it. Kim has never had a hit here at Fenway. He's gone 0 for 7. He only at bats .222 against the Red Sox overall. Kendrick gets ahead of him 1-2.
Yeah, well, he played a lot last year in the respect that when there was the right-hander out there, he usually played. That's not always the case. So he ended up, hitting over 300, hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. He had a solid offensive year.
1-2 delivery, and that will be away. 2 ball 2 strike count. 4th inning. 3 runs 5 hits and an error for Boston. 1 run 5 hits and no errors for the Orioles. Wade Miley and former Oriole Miguel Gonzalez. White Sox series starts tomorrow night. That one into right field. Betts going to have to play it on a hop. And there's his first Fenway hit. So Kim is on, and the Orioles get the first 2 on here in the 4th inning.
Well, Kyle Kendrick is trying to throw that little split change up and get a ground ball, maybe for a double play, but he hangs it. And you're a little bit late on the fastball, right on the change up, and hits it right over Pedroia's head. PD only 5'9". So yeah, they're both Benintendi and Pedroia are listed at the same. I remember when Brian Roberts used to play. Brian used to always walk up to Pedroia and go, "Got you about a half an inch."
Yeah, he and Benintendi. 5'9's about it. Great chance for the Orioles. 2 on, nobody out. Hardy flied out to right first time up, and will take the pitch away for a ball. Well, the Orioles 2 on in the 1st inning, 2 left on in the 3rd inning when they did score a run, and now they've got 2 more on. And as Kendrick has had to work his way around runners on base in all but the 2nd inning when he retired the side in order. Hardy will take the strike.
Actually having a pretty good offensive series. Came in, well, now 3 for 12, 3 for 11 going into the night's game.
Delivery to him. Hardy outside. Orioles 0 for 4 tonight in these situations.
Well, when you go through a lineup for the 2nd time, what does that mean? Well, they know what kind of velocity it is, and it's been around 91, maybe a couple pitches at 92. He's throwing a little cutter, a little slider, and then that split changeup. And you better make some good pitches the 2nd, 3rd time through an order, unless you're a power guy.
Delivery and fouled straight back. Hardy had one to hit right there, and just missed it. 2-2. Nobody out, and runners on at 1st and 2nd base.
Well, let's see if they can, if JJ can do what Bogarts did, which is put the ball in play with some authority with 2 strikes.
Kendrick's 2-2 delivery to him. Did he go? Not a called strike, and did not swing.
Well, there's a little extra right on the outside corner.
Yep, held up. So JJ works it full.
You're just hoping that you don't hear you're out and the right arm goes up. But he just missed hitting that outside corner. Now 3-2, things change. You got to throw a strike or they'll be loaded.
Here's the full count delivery, and Hardy will take it, and they are loaded. The second walk surrendered by Kendrick in the ball game, and the Orioles have filled him up with nobody out here in the fourth inning, and that will bring Kyle Willis out from the dugout for a mound visit.
Well, again, when Kyle Hendrick pitched, went 4-0, and actually the Orioles saw him on March 9th when he pitched 4 shutout innings against him. They said, "Why did you have success? Why did you have success the last couple of starts at AAA Pawtucket?" He said, "Because I was able to throw strike one, and I was pitching to contact." And I'm sure Carl Willis is saying, "Okay, hey, you know, the ball's moving, but you stop being aggressive like he was early." Got a little bit unlucky in the first, but able to get out of it. So if you're Caleb Joseph, I mean, until you get to 2 strikes, look for your pitch. I mean, this is not a situation when you got a chance to get back in the game where you want to swing at a pitcher's pitch early in the count. And that's sometimes hard to do, Gary.
Yeah. Caleb has his first chance with the bases loaded this season. Nobody out, infield back. They'll play for 2. Red Sox leading 3-1. Caleb puts it up in the air to right. Again, it's not deep. Runner will come halfway. Play made by Betts, and right to the cutoff man. Nobody moves.
Well, young hitter, and he swings at a pitcher's pitch. It's a cutter out over the plate. And again, you know, if you said, "Caleb, was that a good pitch to hit?" I mean, he had 3 strikes to work with, and he'd tell you no. But I swung at it. I mean, of course, I hit before the DH came into effect, but when you sit on the bench, whether you're pitching or you're in between starts, everybody, a hitting instructor, teammates, get a good pitch to hit. That was a pitcher's pitch, and he swung at it. 1 out.
Seth Smith already with a couple of hits in the ball game.
So 14 for 24 now. All right, well, excuse me. Oh yeah, he was he 11 for 22? So he's 13 for 23.
2 singles, a run scored, over a .500 average against Kendrick. And the base is still loaded, and the pitch, a strike on the inside corner.
See, I mean, he's looking away, and I mean, he's a veteran hitter compared to Caleb. Thousands of more at bats, and he wasn't looking there, so he took it.
Big moment in this ball game here in the 4th inning. The Orioles to get on the board. Oh, 1 delivery on the way to him. That's going to miss inside. That's where Hendrick is trying to work him on the fists. Too far in on that one.
Well, he hit the roller, beat it out, and then he hit a breaking ball, hit a line drive right back up the middle.
Smith has had 3 2-hit ball games, now 4. Has not had a 3-hit game yet for the Orioles.
And if you're a base runner and any line drive, at least in the infield or through the infield, you got to make sure you don't get doubled up. You got Adam Jones waiting on deck.
Kendrick with the 1-1 delivery to him. Wow. And that's going to miss as well.
Not by much.
Though 3 of them all about the same location, but only 1 for a strike. 2-1.
And here's a 2-seamer, and it's John Farrell, former pitcher, saying you can see him move it over. So again, you can see from our pitch track, pitch cast, that tracks the pitches. It's a little off the corner, but not by much.
2-1.
Yeah, but against that, Smith saying, "I want something out over the plate until I have to swing."
And that's where Kendrick obviously does not want to put it. And now again, trying to come together on the signs with Vasquez. He'll step off.
You know, he's a good low ball hitter. He's got power to left center field. Well, home run power to right. He'd be a typical guy here, very much like Mitch Moreland, where he can drive the ball to left.
261, lifetime hitter waiting. In the air, left field. That one's going to be over the head of Benintendi. It'll take a hop off the wall. 1 run is scored. 2 runs have scored. Throw comes into second. It's a double and 2 RBIs for Smith, and the Orioles tie the ball game up at 3.
Yeah, again, you got to know what you want to hit. He doesn't make a good pitch. He works the count where it's 2 balls and 1 strike, and then he hangs an off-speed pitch, just like he did the second time up. And watch him just flick it to left. Boom. lets it travel, and again hits it hard enough that Benintendi can't catch up with it, and everybody running, and then hustles into second with a double.
So Smith, a 3-hit ball game, the first he's had for the Orioles. He's got 6 RBIs on the season, and he ties the ball game up, and the Orioles still with only 1 away, and Taylor in the bullpen. First warm-up action we've had in the game. Orioles have picked up 3 hits and a walk here in the 4th inning off Kendrick. Adam Jones, a base hit, and he is popped out. And Adam will take the pitch outside for a ball. Still the leader in the American League with runners in scoring position. He has maintained that #1 spot. He's hitting at .545 in these situations, and he's got 2 of them out there right now. Kendrick, the 1-0 delivery to him, and Adam.
Wow. Well, that was a 3-run home run hanging slider, and he swung right through it. Sometimes you get fortunate. Kind of backed up just enough that he couldn't quite track it.
A 1-ball, 1 strikeout. J.J. Hardy's the lead runner at third. Smith on at second. Infield's back with 1 away. 1-1 delivery on the way, and Adam will take, and that will miss, maybe a little high at 93. And Adam works the count to his favor. 2 balls and 1 strike. Adam had an 0 for 12 in this series before he got that single in the 3rd inning. And overall had an 0 for 13 before he got that hit. And there was a bunt single. That's going to be outside. Kendrick fooling around with the edges here.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's made a lot of close pitches, but you do have a base open, even though the game is tied. And then, you know, you look on, Chris Davis is on deck. He hadn't been swinging, or excuse me, Manny's on deck. So I'm going, ooh. You want to hit in front of Manny Machado, you ought to get a strike to hit here. Otherwise, you could be in serious trouble, or Ben Taylor will be pitching.
Kendrick ready, and the 3-1 delivery on the way, and Adam goes after one out of the strike zone, down and away, and that will send Vasquez out with the 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, what was wrong with this one, other than it was about 6 inches off the plate? A little cutter, fastball count. Nice pitch by Kyle Kendrick.
He and Vasquez come to terms on what they want to throw right here. 3-2, 1 down. Orioles trying to take the lead for the first time in the ball game. Red Sox led 2-0 after 1. 2-1 mid-3rd. Red Sox got another 3-1. Now the Orioles have tied it up in this inning. Full count delivery on the way, and Adam will go foul with it. Oh, Adams worked him for at least 7 pitches in this at bat. Three-two delivery again, and called strike of the knees.
Yep. Ran back.
Adam will quietly walk back.
Yeah, it looked like it got over the plate. He might have thought it was low. Take a look. Where's the glove? You can see again. You know, maybe right around the corner. Watch Vasquez just calmly catch it and then turn the glove over. Big strikeout for Kendrick.
First strikeout he's had in the ball game. So it leaves runners in scoring position, second and third, and now Manny Machado. Base hit, fielder's choice, stolen base so far for Manny in the game, and he'll wave at one up high. Not what he was looking for.
Nope.
And not the kind of swing he wanted.
Yeah, that's kind of the 3-1 pitch that Adam Jones chased. A little cut fastball, and it was a good one.
And he will take one down low. Kendrick's been walking the tight wire here in 3 of the 4 innings. Orioles have gotten to him though for the 3 runs now, leaving 4 on so far, 2 more on in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Right-hander's delivery. Manny wallops it way back in left field, and goodbye, home run over the Green Monster seats and out into Lansdowne Street as Manny continues to rock Boston. And this one is good for a 6-3 lead.
Well, 3rd home run of this series. We talked about you got to look who's on deck and who do you want to pitch to, and then obviously didn't want to throw it in the middle of the plate, but that's where it ends up. And the Orioles now with a 6-3 lead.
7th of the year, and all smiles for Manny Machado as he gets one off Kendrick, and the Orioles jump out to the lead here. And for Manny, couldn't be sweeter, obviously, than to come against the Red Sox at this point.
Yeah, 5 runs here in the 4th so far.
2 down, bases empty. Chris up.
Well, you take a look. I mean, you got Chris Davis, who's been struggling, and right in the middle of the plate. You know, we talk about coming here. The first thing you see is that 37-foot wall. I mean, it runs right back, right in the middle. But this ball is going out of any park.
He tagged it. Little roller. Kendrick on the comebacker will flip it over to first base to get the out. But a big inning for the Orioles as they pick up 5 here in the 4th. For Manny Machado in the year now, he's got 4 home runs and 9 RBIs against the Red Sox. Up, and it certainly has stayed hot here in this one.
Yeah, even last night when he went 0 for 5, he was hitting balls over 100 miles per hour. So this one you can see right here. I mean, 113, highest of the year by Judge, 119, and then you know the difference between that 5-degree launch. Line drives 15, 5 degrees, and then you hit it that hard. With a lot of home runs.
And the Orioles trying to even up this 4-game set with a victory in the final game. Have the 6-3 lead going to the bottom of the 4th inning for Tyler Wilson. Xander Bogaerts leading it off, base hit and an RBI. Pedroia's had a home run for Boston. Pitch will be taken for a strike. Bogaerts, Moreland, and Rutledge due up for the Red Sox. Tyler Wilson, no walks, 1 strikeout so far. Down to 3rd, Manny on a short hop. Plenty of time. And gets the out. On Monday, the Orioles and Nationals will begin a 2-game series at Camden Yards. All fans will receive an Orioles Trey Mancini t-shirt. And on Tuesday, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Birdland Yard flag. For tickets, Orioles.com or Pittsburgh. Mancini gets some playing time here in this series and will, when the Orioles return home. Left, right, DH, first base.
Well, he keeps driving in runs. Pitching him a little different. The league has found out he's a good fastball hitter and adjusted.
Moreland will take the pitch outside. Red Sox first baseman lined out to center field. His first time up. Moreland against the Orioles has picked up 1 home run and only 1 RBI against the Orioles this year. 1-0 delivery by Tyler Wilson is going to be inside. 2-0.
Yeah, off of Kevin Gausman. Orioles won the first 2 games in Baltimore, and then Eduardo Rodriguez. Red Sox got him 4 early runs in the first, and then the Red Sox would hit 3 home runs off Kevin Gausman that afternoon. Moreland center field, one of them.
Moreland takes a pitch again, working the inside part of the plate and gets it at 90.
Well, you'd love to have a shutdown inning, and for Tyler, I mean, really hadn't been hit hard, only the hanging curveball to Pedroia for the home run. Got to give them up one at a time here at Fenway.
2 teams knotted on the season series, 4 apiece. Down the line, headed to the corner, and Kim able to come back. He actually overran that a bit, but he got it.
Look at him give a look at Adam Jones going, I had it all the way. We saw Ryan Flaherty, who doesn't play a lot, so head down. You haven't been playing a lot, and the ball here, because of the shorter grandstands, the ball really moves a lot. The wind now, yesterday was blowing in. Tonight it looks like it's shifted, blowing out to left.
Tough corner. That's just a tough corner.
Well, there's been a couple of games with Kim and Flaherty that Wayne Kirby, first base coach, outfield instructor, pulse is going up a little bit.
And the pitch is taken for a strike, 2 down, nobody on. So Wilson trying to have that big put away inning after the team gave him 5 runs. Josh Rutledge, base hit, taken out as part of a double play. He'll foul it off the other way.
Yeah, line drive hitter, 318 lifetime batting average with speed in the minor leagues. Stole bases early on in his career, so he knows who he is. I mean, you've mentioned 1 for 4. He drove in the first run and then drove in another one. The Red Sox won 5-2. Also looks like he's pretty good defensively.
0-2 pitch to him. He'll be down low. Just looking at the Orioles in left field. They started Flaherty in game 1 here. Trey Mancini got 2 starts in left. Kim gets the start tonight, and Rickert came on as a defensive replacement. So the Orioles have pretty much papered left field with a number of uniform numbers here in this 4-game set. 1-2 delivery on the way, and again trying to jump on it late.
Well, I remember Dan Quayle, actually, when he was vice president, and came up to the booth, and John Miller said, Mr. Vice President, have you ever done play-by-play? And he said no, and he said, so the first ball to Randy Milligan, who was a converted first baseman, and Dan goes, Vice President says, routine fly ball to left. I said, Mr. Vice President, there are no such things as routine fly balls to left field. And
did he catch it?
He caught it, but we kind of stumbled under it. And
Yep.
Randy was, he was a good first baseman, but he was playing left, trying to get more offense in. And then the next doing play-by-play is a pop-up to Cal Ripken Jr. And he said, Jim, can I call that a routine pop fly? And I said, to Cal, yes.
Yes, you can.
And it was.
Yep, the left field monster and all it does to left fielders. 1-2 delivery on the way off the fist. Davis back and makes the catch. Chris Davis timing that one, and indeed Wilson does come back with a 1-2-3 inning with a little help from his D. We've completed 4. The Orioles have a 6-3 lead, and Chris Davis making sure the inning ends right there. And here in Boston, it's the Orioles up by a score of 6-3. Machado, the 3-run homer, the difference right now.
Yeah, Kyle Kendrick gives up the 5-run 4th inning, early lead for him, and doesn't walk a whole lot nor strike them out. And so Ben Taylor now comes on, non-roster spring training invitee. Didn't pitch any higher than AA last year. Throws a lot of strikes. And now our Jiffy Lube pitching change, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube perform a free brake inspection today. There are the numbers, and they're good ones.
24-year-old out of Montgomery, Alabama. Still hasn't played at AAA.
Nope.
Pitch will be taken outside. Called up by the Red Sox. Pitched in the weekend series. Came up on Friday. It's already the 3rd time he's been up with Boston. So Ben Taylor on in relief, and Mark Trumbo, the only batter for the Orioles not to hit in the 4th inning, and they got 5 runs on 4 hits. Trumbo is 0 for 2.
Yeah, not like Hembree or maybe Barnes that are thrown in the mid-90s, but he's 92, 93. Throws a lot of strikes. He's got a changeup. He's got a slider. We just saw it. That's about 84.
2-1 delivery ripped up the middle. So Trumbo's on with a leadoff single, and again the Orioles able to get the leadoff man on base. Our Heritage Automotive road ahead. Heritage Automotive offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at heritagedealers.com.
And there they are, the White Sox, and then 4 games against the Nationals. Home and home, or home and away, depending on how you look at it, I guess.
Orioles will be happy to get back home for the ball game tomorrow night. Like the road trip this has been, 7 games, but seems like 107. Pitch up high and taken away.
Well, again, when you don't have your closer, and that first game where you have a 9-1, 11-4, and you end up losing 14-11, and then you kind of get kicked around 12-4, and then you got to win in extras. You blow a 4-2 lead in that game. And it was a tumultuous. A lot of tough games in Yankee Stadium. Of course, the Yankees do lead the American League East after starting out 1-4 with a 17-9 record.
Yep, and the East, it's up for grabs, as I think most people anticipated before the season started. Every team in this division has its weaknesses and its strengths, and the Orioles mighty happy to have their closer back, because that really showed up in New York. And Buck Showalter had to move people around. Darren O'Day on the right there had a chance.
Well, really for like 10 or 12 days, because you have to move everybody back a run.
That's a base hit into right field. Charging on it, Mookie Betts to hold the runner at second base. Trumbo will stop there. And the Orioles get the first 2 on here in the 5th inning off Ben Taylor.
Yeah, and Jonathan Scope, his 2nd base hit of the night to right field, 1-line drive. And again, I mean, incredibly fast infield here. But this is such a big game, because if you get out of here with a win tonight, you will have split the 4-game series. Take a look right here, a little inside out. Let the ball travel. Don't try to get greedy. It's easy to come into this ballpark, whether before the DH, where you're going, I'm going to hit a home run here. Well, I did hit one, but you can pull the ball where you usually just kind of ground balls to shortstop. But again, if you win tonight, I mean, it's a 2-game swing. If they win, it's 2 games in the loss column. Would have been 3 if the Orioles didn't win on Sunday in New York. So very important games, even though it's early.
Jonathan Scope has his 8th multi-hit game of the year, and the pitch will be taken down low, so the Orioles threaten again, and this time the opportunity goes to Young-Soo Kim, who has delivered a base hit. He has scored a run in the ball game. The Orioles picking up in the numbers 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position and getting chances in this game they didn't have the last 2. Inside corner, strike to it.
Yeah, every once in a while, and again, when he's such a good contact hitter. I mean, kind of overgot matched, as everybody did. Craig Kimbrell coming in, was retired 32 of the last 34 batters at the closer, throwing 98, and the last pitch to Manny Machado was 99. But usually he can get the barrel of the bat on the ball.
Delivery to Kim. Pretty good heat at 91. Tried for a big swing on that one.
It's a lot easier when you're playing. It's probably about as big a swing as you're ever going to see.
He's had pretty good luck. 3 for 6 with runners in 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Couple on here for the Orioles. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Taylor's delivery to him will be fouled back.
Well, I looked and I'm going, well, everybody said, well, he didn't hit a lot of home runs. Well, he didn't at 6. He did hit over 300. Didn't drive in a lot of runs, but he had the least amount of guys that played semi regularly, but yet he hit 305 with runners in scoring position. Again, he was hitting, kind of what, 6th, 7th, 8th most of the year.
He knows the strike zone.
Yeah.
He doesn't help a pitcher out very often.
And the ability to hit the ball the other way.
Delivery to him, and again fouled off. Didn't get a good cut on an off-speed delivery, but again able to fight it off from Taylor, and the count will stay at 1-2.
Yeah, you talk to hitting instructors, whether it's Scott Coolbaugh or you talk to Alan Cockrell, who's the hitting instructor in New York. If you don't play a lot, sometimes to try to simulate the speed of the ball, you have to hit off the machine, because again, you can't simulate that velocity.
He had 121 RBIs his last season overseas. That'll go to second. Pedroia, little trouble. 1. That's all they're going to get. So the force out on the Jonathan Scope will put Trumbo and Kim on at 3rd and 1st.
Yeah, sometimes you can have productive outs. Good change up by Taylor. And again, the minute he goes to his knee, you're not going to turn. 2. So you get the runner to 3rd. And of course, with J.J. Hardy, they'll play back and hope that you can get a double play. And for J.J., by getting the runner to 3rd, fly ball of any depth, may be able to get Trumbo in from 3rd.
Only 1 down. Hardy. A walk, and he scored in the Orioles' 5-run 4th inning. Taylor's delivery to him, and he'll, at 86, be over the top on that one.
It's a little cutter. I think it's a slider that ends up in the middle of the plate. But JJ maybe with thought there's a 3-run home run pitch and overswings a little bit.
Orioles have 1 run in this game in the 3rd inning on a stolen base. Machado. Smith scored when the Red Sox threw. That's going to be a base hit. J.J. Hardy comes through. He'll pick up the RBI as Trumbo will cross the plate, and the Orioles have a 7-3 lead.
Yeah, it doesn't really throw hard enough to pitch up in the zone. And we saw that to Trumbo, who started it. And then again, the same with Scope. So take a look. He just goes the other way. Lets the ball travel a little bit farther. He was talking about that on the team bus. He said, I just feel like I'm maybe not quite getting it out in front. Well, he didn't need to there as he gets the 7th run home for the Orioles.
First RBI he's had against the Red Sox this year. And the Orioles now have 7 runs on 11 hits. And Caleb Joseph gets another chance. Runners on at 1st and 2nd. He came up, flied out in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. Infield with 1 down, staying back, looking for 2. Will take the pitch for a strike. Caleb has had an RBI in the series, going 2 for 12. Now catching every day with Wellington Castillo out. 10-day DL. 0-1. Delivery by Taylor to him, and that'll be striking the inside corner.
Yeah, a little backup slider that kind of starts at the front hip and catches the inside corner.
Taylor is working his 2nd game against the Orioles this year. He'd given up a run on 3 hits in 3 2/3 innings. The Orioles already have bumped those numbers up in the first 4 batters he's faced here in the 5th inning. Delivery to Joseph, and that's going to be up high. Fastball at 93.
We only have 1 out with runners at 1st and 2nd, and played for Earl Weaver, ended up in the Hall of Fame, and he was the negative positive guy. When you get up here, he'd say pop up, strike out, but don't hit into a double play. And that would be his way of being positive. I mean, really, because it. And if you're not going to get a hit, which is what he really wanted, at least don't either miss it, pop it up, but the last thing you want. And that was his idea of really kind of sending you out there with a positive approach to the plate.
Don't do it.
And you know what the Red Sox want? They want a double play ball.
Set up here with a 1-2 count on Caleb. Runners 1st and 2nd. Held up on a pitch that was away, and the count goes to 2-2.
Nice little take there.
So both teams having to start a pitcher who had not started a game this year for them. Tyler Wilson for the Orioles. Kyle Kendrick, who's now out of the game. And so far, Wilson getting the better of it. Kendrick 6 runs, 8 hits, 4 innings. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and Caleb fights it off. 2 ball, 2 strike count still.
Yeah, I tell Caleb all the time, I said, you know, when you get to 2 strikes, you got to trust your swing. You know, you're plenty strong enough to, and we saw it when you talked about that RBI. It was a line drive single to center. Just try to wait as long as you can and react in. His power is down and in.
Always gets playing time in Boston because he's hit so well here. 280 in this ballpark. And that looked right there, and it is. So the strikeout recorded by Taylor leaves the runners at first and second with 2 outs.
Yeah, you know, and right before this, watch Vasquez tap the ground, and it's almost like he thought he was coming inside. Puts the glove down, moves to the corner, and Taylor throws it exactly somewhere around the outside corner. Cagey.
Cagey.
Very cagey.
Well, Seth Smith has already had himself a big ball game. 3 hits, a double, 2 singles. He has scored twice, and he has driven in 2. His best offensive night so far for the Orioles. And he's got a chance with 2 down here to pick up another RBI. That lead runner at second base in Kim. Taylor's delivery on the way. Got a full cut on that one. Fouled it back. And that will bring that'll bring Vasquez out very quickly.
Well, he got it up just enough, and again the double he hit down the left field line was on a hanging breaking ball, as was the single up the middle, and then the infield hit. So 3 for 3.
Seth has had 4 hit games before. 3 times. Last time he did it was 2013. He's got a chance to have a 4-hit ball game tonight with this at bat, and at least 1 more after this. 0-1, 2 down. Bogart's behind the runner. Big hole at short. Where this D is lined up. Smith will take the pitch inside.
You can see where Ben Taylor has a pretty good idea. You know, 7th round draft choice, and he started a little bit in the minor leagues and then kind of gravitated or was moved into being a reliever. Didn't walk a whole lot of guys. 12 and 34 innings last year at Double-A, and 10 and 45 innings. That's what you want from a pitcher.
1-1 delivery, and a little further inside this time. So Smith gets it where he wants it with a 2-ball 1 strike count and 2 outs on the board. 2 long innings that the Orioles have put up offensively.
And while he has a changeup, he doesn't really throw it a whole lot. And that's pretty much what we've seen is kind of cutter. And there's John Farrell, kind of hold your breath in these situations because you got a guy that's swinging the bat well with a young pitcher. And we'll see if he makes a mistake here.
2-1 delivery on the way, and kept it down low and missed. So a 3-ball 1 strike count. On deck is Adam Jones.
He also takes a long time. He rubs the ball up between every pitch. I would think that'd be tiring.
Tiring for the defense behind him.
Well, that too, and just imagine what it does to your flexors and your extensors having to rub the ball up. If you don't like it, throw it back in a hurry so the umpire will like you. But
now they're going to put the shift on. They just decided they had not had a full shift on in any of the previous pitches, but at 3-1 they're going to play him to pull in the infield.
Well, you can bet that he's looking for a fastball, and again, good fastball hitter. See all the signs from Vasquez with the runner in second.
Taylor's delivery to him, and walked him, and they're full. So 4 times up and 4 times on for Smith. Adam Jones will get a shot with the bases loaded. And another visit to the mound. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting the American Diabetes Association. The Orioles have drawn 75 walks for a total of $3,750. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
And you can see Carl Willis. He's not only talking to Ben Taylor, but he's also talking to his catcher. Because he's, you know, Vasquez, he's good defensive, but he is young. So what do you want to do? Because this is the Orioles already with 7 runs on 11 hits. Adam Jones, as you mentioned, I mean, kind of struggled, a lot of things on his mind. You know, kind of being pulled in all kinds of different directions up here at Fenway. But again, very, very heads up bunt back in the 3rd. But he came in 0 for 11 and what? So he's now 1 for 14 with a chance to do some serious damage.
First chance with the bases loaded this year for Jones. And he'll take the first pitch away for a ball. Well, the Orioles already have a run in. RBI picked up by Hardy. Now they get him loaded.
It was almost like Carl Willis said, hey, just do what you did the last time when Kendrick was out there. You know, maybe he'll chase. And he didn't.
Adam will not chase on that either. Way out of the strike zone up high. 2-0.
Yeah, he's one of those times where if you're on the mound, you can throw whatever you think you can throw over, but he's looking fastball. If he throws one in the middle, he'll probably do what Manny Machado did. It was a 3-run home run.
Adams going to stand out for a minute. Red Sox bullpen has been one of their early strengths. 2nd in ERA. 4th fewest home runs allowed. 2-0 delivery. Adam takes it the other way and foul.
Yeah, perfect low and away fastball.
Now Workman's up. He was just called up. 2 ball, 1 strike count. The Orioles got it to the bullpen with Kendrick going only 4. Now trying to take advantage of this underbelly, as it is for a lot of teams, of that middle bullpen, where you can sometimes get some runs. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Adam down to 3rd, hits the bag. It'll go straight up in the air, but no play anywhere. A single and an RBI with the bases loaded. Had it gone down the line, he'd had a double and at least 1 more RBI.
Yeah, certainly cost him a run. Let's go back and take a look. And again, you know, Ben Taylor, he's trying to get ahead, throws him a cutter, doesn't go for it. There's one out of the zone, not even close. And here you go, good fastball in a hitter's count. And then comes back with a cutter, hangs it, and it's going to be a double. But Adam gets unlucky. And it's almost like Rutledge thought he might have a play at first.
Adam hustling down the line, though, didn't give him that. So the Orioles extend their lead 8-3. Manny Machado coming up. Adam gets his 12th RBI, and the bases are loaded. Manny already with a home run, a 3-run shot in the 4th inning. Now gets a chance with the sacks full here in the 5th. You see the 4 grand slams he has had in his career.
Yeah, that was the let's try for number 4 in this series swing as far as home runs go.
And he will foul that one back and out of play. Boy, what a chance to add to his RBI totals. He's had 9 runs batted in this year against Boston, and here he is with the bases loaded, 2 down.
Well, Taylor, I mean, the first pitch was a ball, but he chased, so that gets him right where you kind of want to be if you can make a pitch.
Machado will take that one up high.
But see, the problem with Manny, you know, he's a much better high ball hitter than low ball hitter. And you really almost have to make the perfect pitches, because he's, you know, as you look at the Oriole base runners with Hardy, Smith, and Jones on, get the ball out over the plate. I mean, he's content, even though he'd love to hit a home run, to hit it the other way.
1-2 delivery will be a chopper that will stay foul.
And that's the pitcher's pitch. He's able to foul off.
And then he will keep his at bat alive. A 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 away. The Orioles having one of their better offensive nights of the year so far, with the 8 runs on 12 hits. And we are only in the 5th inning.
Well, we talked about it in the opening. All the home runs were solo. And that's changed. Manny changed that.
Manny with a 3-run shot. 1-2. Taylor's pitch went up, and Manny went after it. So the Orioles will add to their lead here. They leave the bases loaded, but they get 2 in the 5th, and they're up 8-3. To you by T-Mobile. White Sox the next opponent of the Orioles, an 8-3 against the Royals. Royals really struggling. Abreu 2 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. The homer. Holland a solid 6 2/3 in that one. And the Rays have jumped on the Marlins 4-0 lead 5th inning. Beckham a 2-run homer in that ball game, as the Rays, a win would put them at 500. Two-run homers for Beckham.
Boy, he thinks Bundy's pitching. Of course, those were solo shots. Bundy still won that game. So he's got Brett Gardner disease, hitting a bunch of home runs.
Yeah. Judge, Gardner, Beckham, Manning.
Well, Holiday hit his 300. So congratulations to him. That's a ton of home runs.
Home runs are way up. During the last homestand, we showed you how the home run numbers already during the first month of April are significantly up over last year, and last year they were significantly up over the year before.
I think like 600 more home runs.
Yep. Jackie Bradley Jr. will take the pitch away for a ball. The Orioles had been held to 2 runs or less 10 consecutive times, including that ball game last night. 4 times they've scored just 3 runs. So this is a real explosion for the Orioles to get the 8 runs on 12 hits halfway through the game. Manny providing his 7th home run, 3 RBIs. Smith has had a 2 RBI double. Hardy an RBI base hit. 1-0 count. Jackie Bradley Jr. will take that one inside. 8, 9 and 1 in the order for the Red Sox. Bradley hitting into the double play his first time up.
And they give him the bunt, encouraging him to swing away.
2-0 delivery to him. He does. Pops it up. Manny Machado. And an easy out there for the first of the 5th. Stay hungry. The Care First Fan Challenge is back. Want to battle Adam Jones in a cook-off? Tweet Masson Orioles, your culinary creation, with a hashtag #IChallengeAJ. And you could face Jones in a cooking battle. Details at masson.me/IChallengeAJ. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Do we know what that entree was?
No. No. We have to ask him that. With the
or his personal chef over
behind
his left shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, with a big smile on his face.
That may have been just for display purposes only. Adam not wanting to surrender the secret of what his culinary greatness will bring forth in the challenge.
Spices and sauces.
There you go.
It's all about the herbs.
It's all
about the herbs.
It's all in the sauce. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way. One of the great lines in movie history. Green apples in the sauce.
What?
Stir it up.
Fried green apples?
Fried green tomatoes.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was a fabulous movie.
I won't get into what that line referred to, but for those who've seen the movie, they probably remember.
be
0-2 count.
Googling it right now.
Yes. That ball hit hard to center. Adam Jones right there.
Well, a couple steps over, so ball hit well right into your defense. And the one thing about Tyler Wilson, you know, it was easy maybe coming back and getting your first major league start. When you give up 2 runs, you really only should have given up 1 in the first inning. And he's, other than the curveball to Pedroia for the home run, done exactly what you want to do. You get him out, let your team, you know, put some runs on the board, which the Orioles have cooperated. And speaking of hanging curveballs, here is Dustin Pedroia.
Pedroia delivered the home run, his first of the year. Good for his 8th RBI. That came in the 3rd inning. And the pitch taken for a strike. The Red Sox here at Fenway have been out-homered 22-12 this year. John Farrell's Baltimore behind in the home run department in their own ballpark. Tyler Wilson's pitch. That one he kept down again, and the count goes 0-2.
Well, that's what he did at you know, last June on the 16th. It was really his last. I mean, it was superlative. When you pitch 8 innings and 3 hit him, shut him out here for 8 innings in Fenway. Last year they scored, you know, almost about what, 5.6 runs a game on the year.
0-2 will bounce.
Pitched a whale of a game.
2016 starts against the Red Sox. He had a couple. The first one he gave up 3 runs, 8 hits, 6 2/3, and then he had that no-run 3-hit 8-inning performance. Career highs in just about everything: innings pitched, strikeouts.
And both of those are good performances. The way they hit last year, he just ran out of gas, and like in August.
That'll go to short on play by Hardy. Pedroia's retired in a 1-2-3 inning. Great job being worked right now by Tyler Wilson.
It's Manny Machado. Orioles trying to get on the board, and they will as they score a run. And then here comes the offense. 5 runs in the 4th inning. Seth Smith 3 for 3 with a walk tonight. And then here's the big blow, the 3-run home run. Talked about you needed that type of home run. Manny does it. 3rd home run of the series. Those are your Geico highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. So Brandon Workman, good to see him back. Tommy John really missed all of 2015 last year, trying to work his way back. Really, what, 20 innings. So again, you know, 7th year at the major league level. Been around 3, at least parts of 7 years, and total about 3.5 years.
That one ripped into center field for a base hit. So the Orioles, Chris Davis delivers a single, and that's the first pitch that Workman has thrown in the majors since 2014, and Chris jumped on it.
Yeah, he used to throw the mid-90s. This one is at 89, pretty much right in the middle. So again, much better hitting speed. Used to have the big overhand curveball. He started for him. I mean, his last full year, it wasn't a good one. I mean, he was 7-1 at AAA, but 1-10 in the big leagues with 19 games, 15 starts.
Trumbo will take the pitch in. This has been a night for returning veterans. Kyle Kendrick, 32 years old, started this game. He hadn't pitched in the big since 2015. Now you get Workman coming on, who hasn't pitched since 2014. 28-year-old right-hander, called up Tuesday from the minors. Pitch taken down low, and a 2-0 count on Trumbo.
Yeah, you always hope when you have the Tommy John elbow surgery where they transplant the ligament that repair it, that come back throwing harder. But he threw really in the mid-90s. Maybe command was his problem. Second-round draft choice.
That one drops down between the umpire and the catcher.
Yeah, I don't think you want to pitch at 89 up in the zone in the big league. So again, it may not be here long, but part of the process is you got to get your innings in. I mean, look at Kendrick. Pitched in the minor leagues, as you said, all last year, so at least had an opportunity tonight.
2-1 count, runner off first base. Orioles now with 13 hits in the game. That one down to third will stay foul. Workman has worked against the Orioles in 7 games. He's had 2 game starts against them, a 1-1 record against the Orioles, and 5 runs, 10 hits, and 13 2/3 innings in his career against the O's. So Workman on here as Taylor worked just an inning, 2 runs, 5 hits in 1 inning. A walk, couple of strikeouts. Workman's delivery will be outside. And a full count. 3-2 on Trumbo. Scope on deck.
Well, that Friday night game where you had a 9-1, 11-4 lead, that kind of puts you on notice that you don't want to be stopping. Get as many as you can. A little different bullpen with Britton back as your closer.
And he walks him. Well, the first 2 on against Workman in his return to the majors. Sarasota, Florida, spring home of the Orioles, also a destination for culinary adventure. From fresh local seafood to an eclectic array of world-class cuisine. Savor the flavors of Sarasota Restaurant Week, June 1 through the 14th. Find out about it at savorsarasota.com. A lot of base runners for the Orioles in this ball game as the offense is clicking with that 8-3 lead. They picked up 4 walks in the game along with the 13 hits. And Jonathan Scope, 2 singles, and he has popped out. Here's another RBI chance for Jonathan, first and second. Workman, that'll be blooped over Pedroia's head. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Davis had to wait. He'll go to third. Ball bobbled. Davis coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. It's in time, but it did get him. And yes, he did. Jim Wolf says he tagged him on the way by, and no argument from Davis. So Chris, when the ball was bobbled, trying to score, but a good throw made to get him.
Yeah, and again, the Gold Glover is going to gun you out. I mean, right here, he can't get a good read. Right there, he comes. Look at Bobby Dickerson. He's going, come on, come on, come on, coming, and then you force Betts to make a great throw, and he does. That's why he won the Gold Glove. I'm trying to elude the tag.
So Jonathan Scope will get a base hit, but Betts will record the out at the plate with Vasquez the tag. First 3-hit ball game of the year for Jonathan Scope.
And that's a huge plate for the Red Sox because this inning had big inning written all over it.
Chances piling up now. 4 for 13 for the Orioles with runners in scoring position. And the breaking ball will be taken inside. Kim has had a fine night at the plate. Single, run scored. Fielder's choice, run scored. And he is grounded out, officially 1 for 3, hitting at .256. He's got 3 RBIs, looking to add 1 here. Trumbo's the lead runner at second. Off speed delivery will break away. 2-0. The Red Sox having to reshuffle their bullpen, and the middle part of it right now in somewhat of a disarray.
Well, they go to Minnesota after the game tonight and then off to Milwaukee.
Twins have been one of the surprise teams in the majors. They've been playing some very good baseball.
Well, so are the Brewers.
Twins lead Oakland tonight 5-0. Or I guess beat them. That's a final.
Well,
is that right?
Well, Santana. Sure. Yeah, Santana was 5-0 the last time I looked with an 0.66 ERA. Wow. Irvin Santana off to a great start.
Oakland had the win over Minnesota tonight. But the Twins, vying for the first place spot, were actually there for a couple of days this week.
And Tigers get rained out in Cleveland.
Rain coming east. 3 ball, 1 strike count, 1 away. Young-Soo Kim. Runners on at first and second base. Pitch on the way by Workman will be popped back and out of play. Well, the Orioles with the Yankees off, looking to move to within a half of New York in first place by the full game. More importantly, split this 4-game set here in Boston. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Kim waiting on it. He'll lash it in the air to center. Pretty good wood on that, but it's going to be shy of the warning track. Hauled in. Jackie Bradley Jr. Runner tags, goes to third. Good base running for Trumbo. Gets there easily. 2 down. Orioles single game tickets now on sale. Reserve your seats for upcoming promotions, including the Orioles Maryland flag script replica jersey, Manny Machado starting lineup figure, the Zach Britton bobblehead, and more. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Jonathan Scope stays at first base. 2 down. Don Farrell coming out. Talk to Greg Gibson, first base umpire, maybe. Don't know what they.
Well, that he may have left early. Anything to get out of the inning, get your guys up. I would imagine that would it be about. Of course, you can challenge that, I believe.
Yeah. Not gonna.
Or maybe ask him to ask the other guys, so you don't have to challenge.
And they did, and they didn't change it. Now they're going to officially challenge, and there's the ruling.
You know, you actually look at this umpire crew, and I mean, Sam Holbrook, other than the high curveball to Adam Jones, he umpired a good game. Now, unfortunately, he threw out your starter. But all of these guys, you know, get to see the whole crew. They are very good ball strike umpires.
There's been a lot of argument on any of them.
No, and
in this 4-game set,
and they've been very consistent. You know, just again, I think the circumstances got in the way of good judgment.
J.J. Hardy first and third. There are 2 down. Berkman's pitch. Hardy has picked up an RBI in the ball game with a single, has drawn a walk and scored, and has flied out to right field. I think I said J.J. had only the 1 RBI. He's actually had a couple now in this series. 2 runs batted in against Boston. 2-0 count, 2 away. Workman trying to get out of this inning. Hardy will take the pitch. It is there for a strike.
Yeah, he got one last night. Just dropped, hit a nice ground ball, hard line drive to center for the other one. You know, he missed a lot of spring training. That's not easy to do when you're 34 with the the back problems.
Little chopper to second, charged by Pedroia. Up and makes the play. So the Orioles, no runs on a couple of hits. They'll leave 2 on base. Orioles up in the ball game though, 8-3. Led by Boston's finest and a little Dixieland jazz band, the Swans returned to the Boston Public Garden. Romeo and Juliet. This has been going on since 1877. The Paget family that started it way back. Hundreds of kids followed the parade from the Commons to the pond. The Swans released. The Swan boats are now there to be enjoyed. It was great. Great seeing the kids. Kids had a great parade coming in with the two Swans. The mayor was there to welcome them, and a lot of fun. It was nice.
100-year-old Swans. That's great.
100-year-old Swans. Don't you wish you could live that long?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not sure.
Well,
that may be a question that requires some thought. Here is Andrew Benintendi. And if you come to Boston, just go down to the Boston, commonly called the Boston Commons, the big park up on Beacon Hill. Take a ride in the Swan boats and see the Swans. Bunting, little butcher boy, Tyler Wilson. Nice play. Gets the out.
Well, Benintendi does exactly what you need to try to do. You know, but Tyler Wilson, very athletic. I mean, you're down by 5. They kind of give him the bun. If you don't cover and get to your position, you know, you notice how he picked it off his right foot. So all he has to do is pick it right there and throw. It's one of those, again, the pitcher's fielding practice you do every day. And then you got to make an accurate throw. And he does.
Done a great job tonight, Tyler Wilson. Gets the first out here in the 6th inning. Betts a base hit. Bogarts an RBI single in the 1st. Betts would score. Pitch will be taken. Take a look at our Coons.com league leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counted.
Well, what, he hit 8 last year against the Orioles? 6 at Camden Yards. Hit over 400, drove in 21 runs on his way to 113 RBIs, 31 home runs. Only Mike Trout considered the more valuable player in the American League.
He has had 1 home run and 5 RBIs against the Orioles this year, but hitting under 200.
Yeah.
Pitch skims off the plate from Tyler Wilson.
Well, you want to face Mookie Betts when he's struggling, if that's what you want to call it. And there's the pitch total. A lot of strikes from Tyler Wilson. Yeah, he's up there right around 68% as far as strike the ball.
2-1 delivery on the way to him, and that'll be a breaking ball that's going to miss outside.
Or maybe just his 89-mile-per-hour fastball that cuts.
Two starts at AAA Norfolk. 0-1. Nowhere near the kind of performance we've seen here, as he had given up 4 earned runs, 7 innings. 3 ball, 1 strike count. That one in the air, center field. Adam Jones puts it away, and 2 down in the 6th inning. On Monday from noon until 2, visit the Camden Yards Light Rail Station to celebrate 25 years of connecting O's fans to Oriole Park, compliments of the MTA. The special event features an autograph session with Ryan Flaherty and Oriole prizes. For more information, go to Orioles.com/rallies. That's Monday, noon to 2, the light rail station at Camden Yards. They'll be there, riding the train in. 2 down, nobody on, and Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez has single, grounded out. RBI picked up by Bogarts in that 1st, and then the RBI homered by Pedroia in the 3rd. And as the other run came, kind of compliments of the Orioles.
Hanley set it up with a single to right. Well, that's when you're hitting well. I mean, again, he came into this game and didn't hit a home run yesterday. 8-game hitting streak went down, 2 on Tuesday night. But again, when your average is going up and you're driving the ball, part of his deal is he's a high average hitter. He'll go to right field with the best of them. But you end up walking him, and then Bogarts, who can flat out hit, just try to get back in the count. 2 fastballs right down the middle. The 2 home runs in this series have been on breaking balls.
Here's the 3-0 delivery. Tyler Wilson will get that one in there. Ramirez not going to swing at it. He's really settled it in after that first inning.
Yeah, again, the 2 runs, but one of them could have been negated, and it wasn't.
Boy, anything under 14 pitches per inning is real good.
Well, he's always been a strike thrower. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. It's okay. What's the quality of the strikes tonight? They've been great.
3-1 delivery is chopped foul.
And there's another good pitch. 3-1. You know he's looking fastball. You know he's got a natural cut. In other words, to a right-hander, kind of goes right to left into the lefties.
Full count 3-2 with 2 down. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He came in having retired 9 in a row. The last base runner was the Pedroia home run in the 3rd inning. Retired the side in order each of the last 2. Now is up to 11 in a row set down, and after number 12 right here. 3-2 delivery. Ramirez will break that up with the base hit into left field. So 2 for 3 for the Red Sox DH. 1 on, 2 away. That'll give Bogaerts a chance. Xander Bogaerts up to an 8-game hit streak with a base hit in the first inning. 1 for 2. Bogaerts has had 6 hits and 13 at-bats in this 4-game set. He came in hitting .393 against the Orioles this year, and he hasn't hurt that with the 1 for 2 so far in this one.
Yeah, he reminds me. I mean, wears the same number as Derek Jeter, and you know all the years that Jeter played against the Orioles and over 3,000 hits on his way to Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame. Down and in was the only place he couldn't hit. Kind of right there. I mean, it had to be a 2-seamer, had to be down and in, out over the plate. He'd fight it away. You know, you get a ball up, he'd hit home runs as Donnie Hart gets loose. Now up and in, Bogaerts can drive the ball. But down and in, kind of like a left-handed hitter off a lefty.
Ramirez not going anywhere at first base.
Well, it certainly surprised him, and it surprised me. 5-run lead, you know he's not running.
Bogaerts came in 5th in the league in average. 0-1 count. There are 2 down. Tyler Wilson delivers to him. Will be outside.
Yeah, so the pitch count kind of within 3 of what, as you mentioned, the highest total down at AAA Norfolk. Because he got sent out on April 19th, pitching out of the bullpen. Really wasn't that stretched out. So 3 innings, 4 innings is not a lot of work. And I think if he can somehow get out of this inning, or the Orioles can get out of this inning with a 5-run lead, they'd be very happy.
Pitch on the way, and he pulled the string on him and had him in front. 1 and 2.
You know, it's funny that he got Pedroia out the second time. He hung a curveball to him, he hit a home run, and then he threw him this pitch, and it works. I mean, that's an outstanding pitcher's pitch.
Orioles will get their bullpen activated. 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Ramirez, short lead over at first base, and the pitch will bounce. Good play by Joseph to keep it out in front of him. Ramirez not going to take any chances, stays at first base. Buck has done a lot of pacing in the Reds in that dugout here in Boston in these 4 games.
Well, how about Yankee Stadium, where no lead was safe?
Hart still throwing out there. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, you can see Caleb kind of exhorting him to big out right here if you can get it. Make a pitch. Yeah, they're going in.
And got it in. Foul back off the fist. He hasn't walked anybody. 1 strikeout. Kept the ball in play. And they've been able to get ground ball pop outs. Haven't had a lot of great defensive plays. They haven't been needed. As the balls that have been hit, except for that Bradley double play, have been pretty routine outs. And a balk called He's going to send Ramirez down to second base. Watch Tyler here between pitches.
Yeah, you got to step off before you break your hands. You come up to a set position. You could take your foot off, you just can't move your hands. And he dropped his hands without taking the foot off, and
he knew it immediately. But
well,
making sure everybody else.
I mean,
knows.
kind of worried about Ramirez with a 5-run lead, and he just threw over there. That got the quizzical look from Buck Showalter. Again, I mean, he's a very engaging, bright young man. You got to focus. That's why Caleb Joseph encouraging him to do that.
2-2 delivery hit hard to short. J.J. Hardy with a lot of time on that one. And we'll get the out. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 6 complete here at Fenway. By Johns Hopkins Orthopedics, serving the community for over 125 years. And by Ocean City. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City. Book now at OCOcean.com. Overlooking the gardens, the farms. Orioles have the 8-3 lead. And that will be it for Tyler Wilson. But what a job he did.
Yeah, very nice. Kept him in the game. Didn't overreact to a 2-run first inning, and then the offense came to the rescue.
Didn't walk anybody. 1 strikeout, 3 runs, 6 hits. Up the middle, and the Orioles start another one. As Caleb Joseph delivers the base hit off Workman, going into his 2nd inning, and the leadoff man on again. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action, packed with your favorite MLB teams, players, and ballparks. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
And it really sets up the inning. Workman coming back from Tommy John, and he doesn't have the velocity he used to have. Now, instead of putting the shift on, Moreland's got to hold Caleb, even though he's not going to be running anywhere. So it sets up a big hole into right field.
And Seth Smith has been on tonight. The pitch will be away for a ball. Drew a walk his last time up. 2 singles, a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored in the ball game for the Orioles starting right fielder tonight. The Orioles have the 8 runs on 15 hits, no errors. Boston 3 runs, 6 hits, and an error. And as the Orioles have been pounding away here from the 3rd inning on. And the delivery to Smith's going to be up high. Workman missing with that one. 9 runners have been left on tonight, along with the 8 runs that have scored. The Orioles have had one of their bigger offensive nights here tonight.
And then they had Chris Davis thrown out at the plate. That was run number 9. Would have scored at least on the ensuing fly ball for sacrifice fly.
Wind picking up a bit, blowing out, foul back. The most hits the Orioles have had this season, it's been against Boston. Game here early on in that short 2-game set. The Orioles ended up with 12 runs on 17 hits in that game on April 12.
And now they put the shift on. I mean, it's a semi shift where Rutledge comes over, and I mean he's not playing way out in the outfield, and Pedroia's pretty much playing straight away second base, which is what he plays. Usually he's way out in right field.
Trying to keep the double play in order. Joseph off first base. Here's a 2-1 delivery. That one's going to go to right, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Joseph to second base. He'll stop there, and what a night for Smith. A 4-hit ball game for the Oriole leadoff batter, and 5 times on. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Seth Smith, a night to remember. This is his 5th.
Well, again, he knows what he wants to hit. He works the count into his favor, and then he doesn't miss it.
5th at bat. Delivers his 4th hit. 4th time in his career he has had a 4-hit ball game.
You see him every day into the 2nd month, and I think you describe him as very much on purpose. Doesn't, you know, not a lot of emotion. You know, very. I mean, you talk to him, he's quiet, but he's kind of pointed, intelligent. He knows what he needs to do. He's been around long enough.
Doing just what the Orioles asked, play that outfield position and platoon.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of his almost, well, his 10th year. His 9th full year. Coming in to be 9 years and 119 days after the year's over.
And a ground ball to short. Bogarts, Pedroia. And they will turn the double play as Adam Jones hits into it. Caleb goes over to third, and with Manny coming up, here's our Lexus Towson drive of the game.
Yeah, first multi-run home run, 3rd of the series for Manny. But for the Orioles, and there again, the 113 launch angle of 20 and sails out of here or any ballpark. They can boo, and they'll boo again. But I think he's made his point with his bat.
Lexus Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer for 7 straight years. Come see why. LexusofTowson.com. Runner at third base. There are 2 down. Manny with a chance for another RBI. Nice stop made by Vasquez. On at third base, Caleb Joseph, who started the inning out with a base hit. Workman with the 1-0 delivery, put in the air to center. Bradley started back. He'll have to come in though and put it away
and get his hat.
So no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. 7th inning stretch time with the Orioles leading.
Starter for the Orioles really pitches well. He gets a big outs, nice change up right there. The Orioles do what they do, turn the double play. And a couple of early runs, didn't react. Chris Davis right there, you can see, certainly thrilled about that. And can you field your position? The answer is yes. Has a chance to win first major league start of the year. And then once again, once you get the lead, you retire 12 of the last 13 batters faced. And Donnie Hart on. This will tie him for Brad Brock most appearances. And again, the left-handed numbers coming down. Right-handed average is going up a little bit, but he's done a nice job.
Mitch Moreland at the plate, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Joey Rickard has come on to play in right field as Seth Smith is out of there. But how about the night for Smith? 5 times up, 5 times on, 4-hit ball game. And he raised his average tonight by 64 points. Ground ball, that'll go to second base. Jonathan Scope. Smith started the night at 222, and he ends up at 286. Now that's a pretty good night's work.
Well, you were talking about it in the air the other day. I mean, when you get, so Seth came in, you were talking, well, he only got up 45 times. Yeah. Because he's somewhat of a platoon player, and right now they could skyrocket. But then again, 4 for 4 with a walk. That helps the on base percentage, because came in with a 340 on base percentage, which is the highest of any of the Orioles. Actually trailed Kim by 1.
That's now
extremely mirror. Yep. Well,
extremely
even though Kim got a big hit, Michael Gibbons getting loose for the Orioles.
Rutledge a base hit, and he is lined out. Donnie Hart's delivery to him. He'll be very late on that. Probably broke the bat on the foul ball down to first base.
Well, they 1 for 4 with, got the first run in for the Red Sox. Played well, got 2 RBIs. And again, he got a hit his first time up, and then robbed of a hit. And all you have to do, again, I mean, as I mentioned, 318 in the minor leagues. A lot of triples, doubles, early on stolen bases. He's a contact hitter.
And the 0-2 pitch to him, slides in there for a strike. Donnie Hart gets the K.
And again, both sides of the plate, add, subtract. He's got a changeup. Facial expression will tell you what he thought of this strike. Nice pitch.
Hart's in his 5th game already against the Red Sox this year. 2 runs, 4 hits in 3 2/3 innings coming in. Only 1 walk and 5 strikeouts against Boston. Jackie Bradley Jr. 0 for 2. He's trying to get out of the funk here. 0 for 15 at the plate. Average obviously dropping at 176. Donnie Hart, confidence gained for himself and for his manager regarding his work. And that's why he's piling up some outs now. And a swing and a miss. Tough to hang in on that one. Went right across the body with it.
Yeah, I think ideally when you talk to good left-handed hitters, whether it was Mattingly, whether it was Boggs, whether it was O'Neill, Mo Vaughn, who had a tremendous career up here, they said you don't want to hit that breaking ball when it starts in the middle of the plate early on.
Chopper. Donnie Hart off his glove. No play. Base hit.
Well, Bradley will take that. If he catches it, he's out. When he doesn't, he's safe. Not an easy play by anything. Hard infield. Watch him come off the mound. Now he's got to backtrack. And again, not only that, you go up the mound and then down the mound. So again, it's really hard to tell where your glove is.
That's going to be it.
Yeah.
So he will work 2/3 of an inning, surrender 1 hit, get a strikeout, be responsible for the base runner on. And Michael Gibbons will come on to try and find the final out in the 7th. comes in. The long-awaited Tampa Bay debut, left fielder, 1 year, $5 million deal, $2 million in performance bonuses. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight, but he's playing. Sportsnet graded Jose Bautista first month an F, and they said pray that it is a small sample-induced fluke. The alternative is too depressing to consider. And the New York Times about the American League East. It's anyone's American League East, and everyone's a contender.
Now Michael Givens comes in. Again, did give up the hit to Betts, but again, I mean, last night appearance, you could see only the 1 earned run. Heritage run is a little higher than he would like, 4 out of 9. But again, I mean, he can overpower you, against righties. He can be devastating, 93 to 97, somewhere in that range. Sweeping slider. This year, the left-handed numbers are down dramatically, and you can see fly ball pitching.
Vasquez has 2 fly ball outs. Runner at first base. There are 2 down. Joseph going way out to snag that one, and 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, he'll keep you on your toes. That side winding, turn the back, show you the number.
5th game against Boston. No runs, 2 hits, 4 2/3 innings. And that one will be high and away. So the count will go to 2-1. Hart responsible for the base runner Bradley, who got the infield hit. Vasquez batting 9th in the order. There's Donnie. Vasquez with the 0 for 6 in the 2 games he has played in this 4-game series. 2-1 delivery by Givens will be away. So he falls behind 3-1.
It really doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. I mean, at least coming in 14 1/3 innings, only 3 walks, but a bunch of strikeouts, 13 in those 14 1/3 innings. Now you ought to be taken here. Let's see if he is. We need base runners.
He swings a pitch away.
I just don't understand that. You're hitting 9th. I guess it's a modern game, but how about a take sign?
Is there such a thing anymore?
No, I don't know. I mean, you would think to the guys that are trying to establish yourself as a major league player. I mean, again, you take that pitch. Sometimes your mindset is if he's taken, it's harder to throw a strike.
Runner was going, almost hit him. Scope bobbles, and everybody's safe. Jonathan had to play that ball right behind the base runner Bradley, who took off on the pitch. So Vasquez is on.
And he plays it almost. It's out. He's almost in center field. Again, it's such a fast infield. I mean, you got to really make a split decision right there. You could see him get his feet set, and I'm sure that he was distracted. I mean, again, there are no routine ground balls here. But look how far he is. He's got to make that play from the outfield grass, and it is scored as a base hit. The Red Sox something going here.
2 on, 2 down. And the pitch again way outside as Dustin Pedroia stands in his first home run in the 3rd inning against Tyler Wilson. He is flied out and he is grounded out. Red Sox have had only 2 chances with a runner in scoring position tonight. They're 1 for 2. 1-0 delivery is way outside again.
Well, they're just hoping that one of the Oriole pitchers will have an off day. And if you're Buck Showalter, you're hoping that's not the case.
Looking for a final out here with the 8-3 lead. Givens with the delivery. Pedroia taking. Backed out a little bit. It'll be a strike.
I mean, he takes a lot of first pitches, but I just think when you back away from the plate, what's your frame of reference if you're the umpire? So why I know it's all right to take it, you still should stand there just in case it's a ball.
2-1 delivery on the way by Givens, and he's been out there a lot here. 3-1.
Well, again, because again, he's kind of a side-to-side pitcher. If the front hip swings too much, that's where you throw it. And you still have to have some kind of direct line to home plate.
Taking again, and that's going to be in there for a strike.
See, now that's the way you play the game. He's wild. You're looking for base runners. If Pedroia taking that pitch and it's a ball, you got the bases loaded. And again, your only other lefty in the bullpen with Benintendi coming up is your closer.
Runners go, and the ball will be fouled away. So on the 3-2 with 2 down, Bakel running, and Pedroia fights it off to keep the at-bat alive.
Yeah, he's such a good right field hitter that he can wait and wait and wait. Certainly content, even though he hit a home run early, poking one into right field to keep the rally going. Makes it tougher to get him out.
3-2 delivery again, way inside, spun him, and they're loaded. He walked him. First walk surrendered by the 3 Oriole pitchers in the ballgame.
Well, they get what they want. Here comes Roger McDowell, Oriole pitching coach.
Benintendi will be coming up. This all happening with 2 outs. Single by Bradley off the glove of Donnie Hart. Hart relieved by Givens. Vasquez the base hit, and Pedroia the walk to load him up. Red Rock will just start to throw in the bullpen. Plate umpire coming out, Jim Wolf, to break it up. So it gets interesting despite the 8-3 lead that the Orioles have. Red Sox have been able to push that potential tying run to the on-deck circle.
Well, if it's a home run, it's 8-7. If it's a double, it's going to be at least 8-5, 8-6, and they're back where they want. And then the dreaded remembrances of Friday and Sunday.
So Givens working to him. Benintendi will take the pitch outside for a ball. Benintendi has faced Givens only once, 0 for 1. Bradley Jr., Vasquez, and Pedroia.
And what if he walks him?
It's a run.
And the bases are loaded. Time run comes to the plate. Red Sox get exactly what they want.
Benintendi away. That's 2 that haven't been close.
Not even close.
And Michael Givens working, really rushing along here.
Well, you want to throw a strike, and the game does speed up. I've been there.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. Benintendi rips it into the right field. That is back near the wall, and a diving catch made. Joey Rickard. What a great catch, as he had to do a 360 on a liner coming right at him. And he ended up with a ball in the glove, and both of them on the warning track.
Well, you get an idea how far it is out there. I mean, again, 180, kind of twisting and turning. The wind blowing the other way, and what a catch. He saves 3 runs.
He just came on as a defensive replacement in right field. Snow coned it at first and then pulled it in. By Miller Lite.
Well, again, it's 2-0, bases loaded. You got a 5-run lead. Got to put it in play. Benintendi, I mean, it looks like it's going to maybe even get into the bullpen, twisting and turning. And there's your snow cone you talked about, Gary. So they do put him in deep for defense. And They missed him down the stretch last year. Rule 5 guy Joey Rickard.
Just a great catch, and Michael Givens, who is on the mound, much appreciative as that gets him out of the inning. Workman stays on for Boston, working here, and there's Joey in the dugout, congratulated by all of his teammates when he came in. Chris Davis at the plate. Davis with a base hit, a walk, grounded out, flied out, and over the top on the delivery. Count goes to 1-2 on Chris Davis. Davis, Trumbo, and Scope due up. Orioles hit in the 8th inning. And Chris will take that one up and in. That's why that play is so big. I mean, we are only in the 8th. The Red Sox could have, even if they'd only scored a couple of runs in that inning, they still get 6 outs after that.
That's 3 runs if that ball gets over his head, because it's 2 outs, everybody's running, and again, it's a long way out there.
1-2 delivery on the way to Davis, foul back.
Yeah, I mean, if this is Baltimore, it's off the scoreboard, and again, it's smack. You know, Givens does what he had to do because he's wild, and then you can see right there, 53 feet, catch probability 96%. Root efficiency, I didn't get that percentage, flashed in there. 89.
1-2 delivery on the way, and a strike taken. Chris knew it. So Workman will get his first strikeout. Davis retired.
Well, this is what he did before the Tommy John. He always had a good curveball. You give up on it. And plenty of the plate.
It'll bring up Mark Trumbo. Mark has had a walk, a single, fielder's choice, and a pop out. Average now at 204. Workman's delivered to him. That'll be the high strike call. 0-1, 1 down. Orioles having big middle innings in this ball game. 1 in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th. Off of Workman and a base hit. Bogarts will snag it, but has no play, and Workman appears to be all right.
Yeah. Again, Jim Wolf, the home plate umpire, is going to come out. Tommy John coming back. Red Sox trainer with the manager. Oh, got him in the arm.
Wow.
Take a look, a little breaking ball, and then this second straight time, Mark Trumbo, after he with a walk in between, goes back up the middle.
Abad in the bullpen. He's going to try and throw. Cool night, maybe all right. He keeps throwing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think you work your way back from Tommy John. You don't want to leave unless it really impairs your ability to throw it. Doesn't appear that's the case.
Says he's okay.
Yeah, all those years never got hit in the arm, leg, ankle. It's just, you know, now the ball's more lively. He's a big guy, ends up really close, fast infield. Easy to get targeted or tagged in the middle of the diamond. And then sometimes you just can't even get your glove up.
Yeah. So Trumbo's on at first base. He's had a 2-hit ball game.
Yeah,
Scopes had a 3-hit game.
2 for 4 with a walk for Mark Trumbo.
3 for 4 for Jonathan Scope. They've already had 1 4-hit ball game for Seth Smith. And now Scope's got a chance to have same thing here. 1 down and 1 on. Workman's delivery to him. Jonathan to center. Jackie Bradley Jr. comes in. And there are 2 down. Joey Rickard on probably the biggest defensive play of the game in that last inning.
Oh yeah, they're back in the ball game. Going to be 8-6. And again, because of the wind, ball's hooking.
Two down here with the runner still at first base. Kim a base hit, fielder's choice. Both times on he scored. He has grounded out and flied out. Off speed pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike.
It's kind of in the Adam Jones strike call territory. Kim just kind of takes a face.
Easier when
well, the
you're
good
up
thing about
8-3.
tonight, Jim Wolf wouldn't understand if he said anything, so he couldn't throw
That's
him
right.
out. Yeah.
Pitched, taken for a strike.
Even though he does speak English.
Real well.
More and more.
Real well. Everybody in the Orioles lineup has contributed in the offense, being on base, getting a hit, scoring a run, producing a run. Foul back. And the count goes to 2 strikes on Young-Soo Kim. Orioles a victory here, important, and this road trip split this 4-game set against the Red Sox. Kim on a bouncer helps the runner who can't see it stay there.
Yeah, you know, you'd like to score some more runs, and then you got to figure out a way to get 6 outs.
The Orioles are going to see this Red Sox team again in a 4-game series again. 1st of June at Camden Yards. June 1, 2, 3, 4. Red Sox will be in for 4. And then they won't see one another till what, September?
September, yep.
Down to first and foul.
Got to go all the way to
the end of September.
Yeah. And Boston comes to Baltimore. Orioles, they come back here in the end of August.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Trumbo getting the edge off first base, and that one bounces away.
I think it got, I don't know, I thought it got caught in the webbing.
I think it hit him, and I think the home plate umpire Jim Wolf thought it hit him, but Kim didn't. Well, neither did anybody else.
Well, it's a little cutter up and in, and I thought it might have gotten in the glove and then went through the web. Take a look right here. Maybe got the back of the elbow.
Didn't look like it hit him on the replay. They're going to, there's a challenge on this. There's a challenge here, and they're going to go to New York in a replay.
Well, it doesn't hit his arm.
No, it doesn't hit his arm.
I thought it got right in the webbing and then went through or off the edge of the glove. And
Mark Trumbo standing down at second base, wondering what's going on here.
Well, he gets to advance either way, even though he had a little bit of a stumble.
So they're looking at it in New York.
So this is the protection, elbow protection on the front arm of Kim.
Kim has still got the bat ready to hit.
Yeah, it just seemed to me that maybe Jim Wolf actually heard the ball going off the edge of the glove off of Christian Vasquez.
This could be I think this is a crew chief review. I don't think anybody challenged here. What is it? Didn't hit him. I swear Trumbo stopped. He went back to first base. He's got to go back. Trumbo fell down, and instead of going to second here, he wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, he catches a spike,
and then he went
down.
back to first. So he doesn't get second base. He went to second while everybody was talking, trying to sneak in a base there, but he doesn't get it. So it was a Red Sox challenge.
Very stealth-like.
Very stealth-like.
On Mark's part.
Tried to go underground.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
So Kim with a runner at first and a 2-2 count, and somehow gets the bat around on that.
Yeah, the old emergency hack on the hook. Yeah, as the season progressed last year, with a couple of exceptions, I think the league found out, and of course he was playing against right-handers almost every time, that he could get on the fastball. Had trouble. What, 0 for his first 23 in spring training, and really made some adjustments once the season started.
2 ball, 2 strike count. And Kim watches that one go away.
You think about it. I mean, they wanted to send him to AAA Norfolk to get some at bats because he just needed to adjust to the velocity and the movement and the way they pitched coming from South Korea. And he said no, and it worked out pretty well.
It did for everybody.
Yeah, for him, the club.
Runner goes here. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Kim will go down swinging. So Workman, after all of that, will end up with a strikeout. He's got 2. No runs a hit. 1 left on. Orioles up. Return home opened up a weekend set against the Red Hot White Sox. Wade Miley on the mound against Miguel Gonzalez, the former Oriole. Coverage on MASN 2, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yeah, well, you can see Avisel Garcia, again, finally getting it together. It looks like Miggy Cabrera, but a younger version. And then the Orioles in 7 games last year. Again, I think surprising everybody in that American League Central.
No sympathy in the dugout. Mark Trumbo came back. Look at Manny. Trumbo smiling himself there. And they're smiling because of this. Mark got a lead, and then God love him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It happens to you in life.
Yeah, well, that's, and we were saying between innings, that's how Jackie Bradley came around first base in Detroit and actually had to go on the DL, sprained his knee, just caught the toe. Easy. Brad Brock comes on, and really, he's been terrific. Got to figure out some way to hold him right here because you got Zach Britton behind him. But 5 out of 6 with Britton on the DL. Got a save on Monday night in a 5-2 game.
Mookie Betts will take the pitch. It is in there for a strike. It's one of those most embarrassing moments in your life that you hope nobody saw or ever talks about again. 1-1. I was going to argue a case at the law court, and right outside the law court there was an aluminum telephone pole, a light standard. Somebody started talking to me, and I turned to my right while I'm still walking. I turned at exactly the same time the post was in front of me. I hit that thing so hard, and it gave out such a ring. It sounded like a church bell. You talk about being embarrassed. I mean, you're walking full force. You're talking to someone, you turn around, and the next step is wham right into the aluminum pole.
So that was your calling card.
That was my calling card. Yeah, I'm here. So let's start the case.
Thorne's in the courtroom.
That was bad.
Did you win the case?
Yeah, I did win the case.
Okay, there you go.
2-ball, 2-strike count. That one down the line. Gentry's come on to play in right, and he will get there and put it away.
Yeah, record goes to left, so you got the fleet defenders, Jones in center.
Busy outfield, busy right on the last 2 plays. Bottom half of the 8th inning, 1 down.
Well, Brad Brock does a nice job. I mean, he closed only really the game in New York with an 11-8 lead, and walked Headley on a 3-2 changeup, regretted that, and then gave up the home run to Castro. Other than that, he's really pitched well in this role. So now the Orioles get him back to set up for Zach Britton.
And Ramirez will take for a strike. Ramirez 0 for 6. Lifetime off Brock. Hanley Ramirez 2 for 3 in the ball game. Couple of singles, a run scored. Bogarts has had an RBI. Pedroia's had a home run. The other run on a non-RBI situation, and that's been it for the Red Sox. Tyler Wilson, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, no walks and a strikeout. He had a streak after the Pedroia home run leading off the 3rd. He would set down 11 in a row before Ramirez got a base hit in the 6th inning. And by that time, the Orioles had built up a lead. 0-2 pitch by Brock. Ramirez in the air, out of play.
That's so you could see, and the last couple of times, maybe a little better on Sunday, but for Brad, the changeup coming back where it's effective. He said he just feels like sometimes he got in a period, even though he was saving games, where he just kind of started spinning. He's a big guy. He throws hard. He's 6'5". Kind of steps at you if you're right-handed.
0-2 delivery, and just got a piece of that, fouled it off.
Yeah, there's the changeup, and it gives you an idea, because that's a tough pitch to even foul off, how well Hanley Ramirez is swinging. I mean, somebody's got to take, not, I mean, literally, but figuratively, somebody's got to, be the David Ortiz on this ball club. He's the most, got the most experience as far as home run hitters. Pedroia's right up there with him. Lifetime 300 batting average.
0-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. Brock gets him to go after.
There's that changeup, and it was a good one.
2 down.
The bottom just drops out. When you get on top, you can see it getting back in his hand. And then again, great arm speed. So you're throwing 95, and then you throttle back maybe 7-8 miles per hour with great movement. Tough to hit it.
Abad
and Fernando
still on pitch problem.
We saw him earlier in this series.
Bogarts has had a base hit, an RBI, 1 for 3. Extended his hit streak to 8 games, and 333 his batting average on the year. Brock's delivery to him, that'll be a strike. For Brad this year, this is game number 3 against Boston. No runs, no hits, nothing in 2 innings against them.
Yeah, this is kind of the formula the Orioles used, going 50 and 31 in the first half. Where they had Britton going 47 out of 47. Brock makes the All-Star team, his first one. O'Day, with the hamstring problem on the DL, and then shoulder problems. So now all of a sudden, we'll see if Zach Britton actually gets an inning in tonight.
0-2 pitch on the way, step back, fouled it off. And the count goes to 0-2 with 2 down. So Brock looking for a quick inning. Givens worked to 3rd, gave up a hit, got a walk. Hart 2/3 of an inning, strikeout and a hit, and now Brock. Xander Bogaerts waiting on it, and tried to get him to go after it, didn't. Caleb says, flips the glove and says, great pitch, right where we wanted it. Bogaerts took a look at it and decided not to go.
Best 2-strike hitter in baseball. Saw that the first time when he got a 2-out hit.
And another one down the line, and it will be in the seats. So he holds the count at 1-2. Orioles trying to get this series over with, get back home. White Sox coming in for the ball game tomorrow night. Chicago is going to beat the Orioles to Baltimore. They had a day game today in that 8-3 win over Kansas City. Bogaerts stands back in 1-2.
Yeah, Buck pretty emphatic that Kansas City didn't need to do that. They were staying home, but they did it because it makes it a little bit easier to travel.
And Major League Baseball, and it's largely because of TV, refuses to implement any kind of rule requiring that getaway days be day games. And most teams don't do it, including the Orioles. 1-2 delivery and a breaking ball taken outside, and the count goes to 2-2.
Well, every once in a while, especially if teams are going to the West Coast, they will do it. I don't think it really matters here. They draw so well. It would have been a pretty pleasant afternoon.
2-2 pitch on the way. Comebacker. Brock gets the out. Good inning for Brad Brock. He retires the side in order. We go to the 9th here at Fenway. The Orioles on top 8-3. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Cool night again here at Fenway. The Orioles bats though hot. 17 hits. And they have the 8-3 lead as the near capacity crowd. A lot have chosen to leave as we go to the 9th inning.
Yeah, Fernando Abad, they get him from the Twins last year. So this will be what, his 9th appearance. And 5 of those are scoreless. He does give up hits. Righties are 5 for 15. Lefties are not quite as, they're 3 for 9, not as many at bats. But what he does well, and it may come into play, runners in scoring position 1 for 10. So the inherited runner number good.
Out of La Romana in the Dominican Republic, Abad will work against J.J. Hardy. Hardy a base hit and an RBI, walked and scored. 1 for 3. Officially in the ball game with a couple of RBIs in the 4-game series. Abad on the mound against the Orioles for the 5th time this year. He's given up 2 runs on 5 hits in 3 innings against the Orioles. And the pitch is taken for a strike by Hardy.
It's just amazing when you look at, and well, baseball players in general, especially you come from Latin America, or maybe a high school player. Well, how long have you been in the game? 13 years. Oh, you must be old. No, I'm 31.
And outside to JJ. So Workman getting back to the major leagues for the first time. A couple of years out. He worked 3 innings, no runs, 5 hits, a walk and 2 strikeouts.
He made some nice pitches. It's great to see him back.
Yep. Good for him.
Anytime anybody comes through that and maybe doesn't throw quite as hard, but made some good pitches, mixed up his pitches.
Pedroia gets the out on Hardy. On our Major League notebook on this date, our dearly beloved friend Ernie Harwell passed away on this date 2010, 42 years with the Tigers, age of 92, year-long bout with cancer. And in 1869, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, the first all-pro baseball team, started their first regular season game with a 45-9 win over the Great Westerns of Cincinnati. 2 Cincinnati professional teams.
Yeah, you pitch in the old stadium in Tiger Stadium, and they had some great offensive teams. And I usually didn't like to get knocked out, but it was a pleasure maybe to pitch 7 2/3 and actually get to hear Ernie Harwell. There's a high one. And he was so casual, and he was such a nice man. As the Oriole closer in a non-closing situation, trying to get his rhythm back. Yeah, I mean,
Ernie, one of the,
one of the
real
class
gentlemen
guys.
of the game.
He really was.
Chased after one up high. Ernie put that chicken wire in. If you in Detroit, the press box, it was literally on top of the batter's box. I mean, there was no way on foul balls that you had any chance to move. You never took your eye off the game if you were broadcasting, because you were right on top of home plate. And Ernie, that being his home ballpark, he put chicken wire up in front of his booth in order to save his own life. And
well, in Fenway, when I first started broadcasting, it wasn't quite as close, but it was down below, way below where we are, and it was similar to Tiger Stadium. One of my big regrets in life, I was doing a game there with Howard Cosell, and I actually saved him from being hit in the chest with a line drive. Kind of snagged it.
Down the line, pesky pole, but not quite enough on it.
It was one of those momentary lapses of judgment, and
say 5 Our Fathers, 10 Hail Marys, make a good act of contrition.
Yes, exactly. Oh, young man, thank you for saving me. But of course,
and right away,
finally, it's good to have a member of the Jockocracy here in the booth.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be taken down low. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Caleb with a base hit. He is 1 for 4. 1 down here in the 9th inning. Abide's delivery, and that'll be hit to short. Bogarts gets in front.
Yeah, kind of gathers it in.
2 down.
Yeah, Howard, of course, was a lawyer, did baseball, and he worked with Reggie, and they told Reggie, Reggie said, well, how am I going to know when I need to talk? They said, just raise your hand. Well, he raised it so much that Howard went down to the trucks in the 3rd inning to tell Dennis Lewin. He goes, you got to get that young man to put his hands in his pocket.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, he was
Howard goes out. Yeah, the stories.
Well, they were endless. I mean, really were.
The Monday Night Football stories with Don Meredith and company. I mean, those were from another era.
Howard liked to have a little vodka, but throwing up in your partner's cowboy hat, I mean, come on. That's not
Joey Rickard.
That's what he did.
And Rickard will take one that bounces and catches Vasquez. Joey getting his first at bat, making the great catch in right field. He's so good in right field, they moved him to left. And that's where he's playing here to conclude the ball game, as Buck Showalter gets the outstanding defense of Rickard, Jones, and Gentry in the outfield. Benintendi should have had a couple of RBIs.
Yeah, probably 3. Counting them.
But Rickard made the catch.
Well, it's funny. Gibbons has had control problems. He gets behind him 2-0. Bases are loaded. It's 8-3. Benintendi does exactly what you're supposed to for a young hitter. Look for a pitch, hit it as hard as you can, and then Rickard robs him. That's baseball.
2-1 delivery. That one is going to miss. So Abad falls behind 3-1.
Yeah, Abad's been around forever. I mean, he started we first saw him in the American League when he pitched for Oakland back in 2014, Houston. And then he went to the Nats. He was in Washington, Oakland, Minnesota, Boston.
Left-handed.
Yeah, the key is, Pete Rose said when he was managing, well, he said a lot of things when he was managing the Reds, but he said basically if you're breathing and you're left-handed, you probably have a job. If you can get guys out.
True. So Abad trying to get an out here with the count at 3-2.
Yeah, Rickard saying, if I'm going to get the hit, I might as well get a base hit.
Exactly. The only at bat he's probably going to get in the game. Full count delivery on the way, and Rickard will go down swinging. So Abad comes on, retires the side in order. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and Britton will come on in a non-save situation. set, and the Orioles get another chance to get their closer in a situation where you just get some work in.
Yeah, and you know, that's what you want. We saw it the other night because it was in a losing effort, but you know, coming off a bleak injury in spring training, so not a full spring. He says it's the first time that's happened, and then had the forearm problem, and of course anytime you have that, you can see the high average, you know, by the lefty. So you figure, okay, as long now I'm well, now I'm going to go out and work on my rhythm, you know, get 3 outs, and then I'll be ready for the weekend. That's why it's so important here.
Yep. Game 2, Zach came on, and similar situation, worked an inning, gave up 1 hit and had 1 walk.
But I told him on the bench, I said, you did what I never could do in the big leagues, throw a triple play. That's how he got it. Moreland doubled off the wall.
And Moreland here will take the pitch down low for a ball.
You know, Zach, I mean, he's a sinker baller, but part of the windup is that if you watch his windup, the front shoulder, it'll get high. But again, he just feels like he can't stay there. So let's see if he can get the sinker going again.
Moreland 0 for 3, hits that one on the ground. Jonathan Scope will make the play, 1 out.
Yeah, he said, I feel like I'm just kind of not flying out, but I can't stay in a line to home plate. I said, well, just relax your right side. You know, you're left-handed. It'll get out of the way. You know, a lot of times you feel like you got to really do something with your front side. I don't know of too many guys that ever say, you know, I stayed too close, unless you're way across your body. So, you know, and again, you know, he does his work. He does his dry work where he actually, when they're home, they have a little mound, and he practices just what the front shoulder does, because that's the key to his delivery.
Josh Rutledge will take the pitch outside.
Seeing right there, he just, you know, was a little bit early and the ball runs. I mean, so again, shoulder up. And again, if you get a little bit quick, sometimes, you know, the ball will just run out of the zone.
1-0 delivery, and that will be away. Base hit in the 2nd inning. 1 for 3 for Rutledge, who will continue to get playing time at 3rd base. Marco Hernandez out. Rutledge had been out on the DL. He no sooner gets back than Hernandez gets hurt. 2-0 pitch, and Britton will get that one in there. 2-1.
Yeah, they wanted more bullpen help, so they went out and tried. You know, Travis Shaw got traded to Milwaukee, and look at the numbers. 2 games ago, he'd already driven 21 runs in 24 games, so he would be the guy if Sandoval was hurt. If he was still here, would have played 3rd. But he's a Brewer.
Broken bat, base hit. Adam Jones up with it, and Rutledge on. A 2 for 4 ball game for him.
A pretty impressive young player. You know, again, kind of battle your way through the minors, get a chance because of injury.
So Zach Britton surrenders the base hit and will face Jackie Bradley Jr. He has picked up a single. 1 for 3 in the ball game. That'll be hit number 9 for Boston. The Orioles have 17 on the board. And a swing and a foul ball.
And again, you want to come in, you want to get out, you want to get your work in, and you know, Buck Showalter's hovering around the Oriole dugout saying, boy, I don't want it to be a high pitch inning. I want them available.
Runner off first base, and the pitch is going to miss inside. Bradley, Jackie Bradley Jr. trying to get the bat going again before he got that base hit in this ball game. He had an 0 for 15. Britton's looking for the ground ball. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to it. Another one fouled away to the 3rd base side.
Yeah, Jim Wolf, I mean, he has been about as consistent as any umpire I've seen this year. He has not called any balls off the corner. Again, he's been very fair to both the pitchers and the hitters. You get an idea, even though it's a 5-run ball game, pretty much what his strike zone is here in the 9th.
1 ball, 2 strike count. And great off-speed pitch to get him.
Yeah, Jackie Bradley Jr. saying, wait a minute, you throw 95. When he gets in his rhythm, 97, and you throw this pitch, and it's a good one. Perfect breaking ball, 80 miles per hour, right on the corner. Starts on the plate, ends up unhittable.
So 2 away there in the 9th inning. Vasquez 0 for 2 off Britton. 1 for 3 in the ball game with a base hit. Tyler Wilson, starter for the Orioles. Chance to be 2-1 on the year. Runner goes. We'll take second base on a defensive indifference. Kendrick, who started for the Red Sox, he'll take the loss. He'll be 0-1. 6 runs, 8 hits over 4. Tyler Wilson making his first start of the year. His career record will be 8-9 with a victory in this ball game. And again, another outstanding performance by Tyler Wilson here at Fenway Park, where he's pitched his best Major League Baseball. 1 ball, 1 strikeout on Vasquez. And for Seth Smith, 4-hit game and 5 times on. And everybody joined the offensive flow in the ball game for the Orioles. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll miss outside. Orioles bunching their runs in the middle. 1 in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th, and then 2 more in the 5th inning.
Well, and they've shut out the Red Sox. They were down 3-1 at one point. So it's what, 7 unanswered runs.
Tyler Wilson's work in the middle, 11 in a row. 2-1 delivery on the way, foul back.
Kind of wondering, maybe Zach, and you very rarely see this, Scope a big part of this defensively and with the bat. I wonder if he might throw him a breaking ball.
See what he likes here on the 2-2. Runner off second base, and the 2-2 delivery, and that'll be in the air to right field. Playing shallow, got to go back a little bit, but there, and this ball game is over as Gentry hauls it in. So Zach Britton finishes it up. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Vasquez retired, and Britton, along with the rest of the bullpen, not surrendering